Hello, YouTube. Welcome. This is a podcast. This is your podcast, the Black Spirit Radio. Today we will talk about the Heidel. There will be lots of yapping. There will be lots of things. We will cover the things on a Heidel. There is some kind of recap, the official recap on the website, but there's some kind of missing points. And let's think that what the other people, also think. We have today's guests. We have nice guests today. We have Fleb yet. You all know the Fleb, isn't it? Let me just check. Fleb here. Hygaa is the manager. What Aidex is at here, Huehotbar, and someone's is just probably Mace. My sound is no Flip from you. My sound is just creating some kind of echo. We have Mace, like gear electro kind of player.
Not anymore. Big gains.
Okay. Then
All treated you well.
Arkyve here, and the only Korean streamer. Huehotbar, he's also streaming.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think everyone is almost streaming or have YouTube channel, and here you guys will be able to find all of the links in the description section while you're listening this podcast on YouTube. So our manager is Hygaa. He will just manage and control, lead us, and we'll just yap about. Let's go.
Okay. So first things first, as per usual, we're gonna start like presenting ourselves, who we are and what do we do. So Flip, you can go. Who you are?
Yeah, I'm a light skill enjoyer. I do most of the stuff in the game, but not. I accept the forcing of Nordwar for the stupid buffs though, so I show up for that. But otherwise, just light skill and grind pretty much.
Okay. Aidex?
I'm Aidex. I am the only Dosa main still left.
Oh god.
I like both PvP and PvE, but I barely do any life skill content.
Okay. Hugh, do you want to introduce yourself to the
Okay, I'm Huehotbar, Korean video streamer. I play in KR server. I stream on Twitch. I have YouTube channel too. I play like almost all content in video. I play life skill, PV, some PvP too. That's all.
Hugh, may you please open your webcam?
Webcam.
Share it on Discord.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. I haven't tried it. Will take time. So other people can introduce it. Yeah, it might take
It's
time.
fine. Oh good. Maces, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hey, yeah. I also play all the content and video pretty much. I've been on a break. I just got back today actually.
Ooh.
But yeah, mostly doing everything to fuel PvP. So PvP is the main interest.
Is there echo
okay.
or only me on May's sound?
May sounds like if he's in a cave, but maybe.
Yeah.
Are you in cave?
I am.
You live in a cave?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Like all
Nice.
dragons. Hold on. I'll mute for a minute.
That's why you played Dracania, I guess.
Exactly.
Okay. And last but not least, Arkyve, can you please introduce her?
Hi, I'm a PVX player. I do pretty much every combat-related content in video. Not really any kind of life skill except AFK fishing. I've been representing, to some extent, the Sage community and helping the Sage community for a few years. And I make showcase videos for PvE on Sage.
And I want to insist on this, that you are the writer of the Sage Bible by himself. So yeah.
Be it blessed.
So you never say that, but I think it's very important to say because your work is super good. I'll just point it out. Okay, so as I hope everyone knows, last 28th of June there was a Heidel ball that actually they said quite a lot on what it's gonna happen on the game, at least for September. And they actually gave specific dates, and we're just gonna try to break through everything that they said and give our opinions on what they think, how did we feel it's gonna affect the game. So yeah. Let's start things off with, they divided the ball into chapters, I believe. They wanted to introduce new contents for the beginner friendly, and we're gonna start with that because I think it's the stuff that it's gonna give us or occupy us the least time, which is the UI notification improvements. They mentioned that the top notifications, there's going to be an option to remove the enhancing for the guildies, and also some improvements to the notifications to, for the newer players to be less excessive. So we can start things off with Flip. How do you feel about this? Do you have any hopes that there's an option to tick off the cooking and the alchemy, like doing the pound, pound, pound?
Yeah, I would like, because there's a lot of weird spam and a lot of it you can turn off. And if you don't know that, then you come in as a new player, it's like you got blasted by a lot of weird things popping up. But even when you turn everything off, if you do cooking and alchemy at 1 second, you craft faster than the things can pop up. So you will build up a big queue. So if you do like a supreme utensil, for example, alchemy 5000 crafts, you're done with it. We'll just see that thing going for several minutes after.
Hours.
Boom, boom.
Oh my god.
It's weird as fuck. So if they could like either speed it up or like give
Or
the
just
ability
mute
to, like,
it.
turn it
Or
off.
mute it.
Mute it as well would be nice because the sound is like pretty extreme as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit annoying. I think we can all agree to that.
Yeah.
And also that's gonna be big for the newer players to like have control a little bit onto that one. Plus everyone else like this. I went into Flip because this is specifically if it could happen for the life skill department, but do you guys think it's a good idea that they come up with this?
Definitely. Like I made yesterday an alt account for undisclosed reasons. And holy hell, the amount of notifications on top of people even getting Tet and Pen to Vala enhancements. Like,
Yeah.
why would anyone need that information?
Yeah, it's basically like it's old stuff because when the game released, you would get notifications when people put like duo accessories stuff, and you would get it on like I think it was plus 13 gear, but it wouldn't pop up when people hit like a plus 8 or something because that was considered too low. But the problem is now that you have like pen to Vala, it's not like wow pen. It's just like
It shouldn't.
Any kind of Tuvala gear, like I
Who
don't want to see
cares?
notifications for anything
Yeah.
lower than sovereign gear.
No.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you want to see, you only want to see things pop up if it's like purple grade gear now. Pretty much. Like if you see someone hit a like sovereign or a Preon thing, then yeah, sure. But when you see them hit Tuvala and like no,
Nah, it's like
Even
who
a Black
cares,
Star,
right?
in the past few days, the amount of notifications of people tapping Black Stars
yeah,
and often.
one gear below. I think the armors are like the red armors are probably still fine, but not the like the first two steps where you don't cron
Yeah.
where it's just spammed.
But yeah,
So yeah, I mean, eventually it should probably be only purple by default, like purple grade gear.
if they can actually do it, it will be good for sure. Let's move on to some other changes that they suggested. So there's gonna be a tool on the world map where you are gonna be able to see more visually where your characters are sitting. And they are also going to introduce a tool in which you're going to be able to move your characters through nodes, not only cities. There was this tool where you could just move characters in between cities, but now they're going to expand that into the world map UI and move characters into certain nodes. And they are here saying that it's also going to be able to move characters into the bosses, the field ones and the world ones. How do you feel about that one, Hugh?
Bosses, right?
Yeah,
No
they're-
bosses.
I mean, maybe
I have
we
no
see more
idea.
people there.
No idea about bosses.
Okay. Do you like that change, Aidex?
I think it's generally a quite a good quality of life improvement, right? Because you can just put your characters or your alts on the nodes before the bosses spawn. But I don't know about the Land of the Morning Light bosses at this point. They're kind of like not worth it anymore.
Yeah, at least the old bosses got buffed recently, so they are worth going to again. They're not like because before the latest change to like Bell, Sorka, Karanda, and all that stuff, they were like extremely outdated as well. But now they're fine again.
I mean, I would also like to see, because I don't know if it has happened in MENA or in KR, but I think in EU, at least the time that I've been on the PC, I haven't seen a bigger boss, the blood boss version of a big one pop up because they reduced the chance of them appearing. But I actually want to see how good those ones are. But I feel like there is
Still,
now.
the like special box that they have, you can still get that from normal ones now, right? Because
I
you can
think
you
Yeah,
can get
probably.
like the Thundercloud box on a normal cooked. now. Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, but still, the difference, I think it was in silver or something. I would need to look into that, but definitely it's gonna help the bosses because now it's gonna take you less effort to move your characters around. So maybe we see more people over there.
Yeah, it's nice
I think
convenience.
it's a W.
I feel bad
do,
for the people that want to get the Nouveau outfit. It's gonna take them a long time now.
yeah,
Oh,
that's so true. Do you like these changes?
I mean, overall, like, I didn't understand the idea behind the showing the characters on the map. Why they're showing, I don't know. But overall, the transfer character, or the whichever you want, any nodes is now available for your character for some certain amount of money. That's good. Like, but word bosses, like, I just share my thoughts lots of time. The word boss, like, is the biggest group content in the game, I believe. A common content. Let's be honest, they're shit. Like,
You don't
I
like
like
them.
they're just allowing you to transfer your character to the any word boss if you need, but hello, they're shit. Like, why should I bother myself to create a setup for them? We did test even after the buffs. The word boss system is completely dead if they're not new in this game. The new word bosses in the, what was the name? The Adana bosses, Rusalka and some other things, they will definitely be valuable for long period of time. But when we are done with the Blackstone materials for the armors, in 3 years, for example, or 4 years, let's say that, they will be dead again, like these word bosses. I would love to see certain things, certain changes for the word bosses. Even the like smallest, the weakest word boss should be valuable in this game, and anyone should. And like whenever I just join there, I shouldn't feel like grieving myself. Like,
No.
I mean, I like pretty boring content. I don't mind it not worth it. Like as it is now, it's like it's not comparable to like active time reward wise, but it is fine if you're just being lazy anyways. Then you can like pop up there and get some lazy rewards, and I think that's fine. At least the way they are now. If they were more interesting to do, then the rewards would be nice if the rewards were better. But they have kind of always just been loot at us, and then I would rather not have like FOMO on not doing them because they're boring as fuck.
I'm wondering, did you guys get any version of the blood bosses like blood storm, Nuver, Sarka, all that on Mina?
don't know.
Right? Have you attended? Like none on Mina has been popped yet, right?
Maybe it popped, but I never see.
Yeah, you never.
Let's
What about
ask
you,
the
Hugh?
chat.
Did you
Ask
see
it to your
any
chat.
blood versions?
You.
Because I feel like it's so rare.
Yeah.
Like actually so rare. In EU, I haven't seen one yet. They should definitely up that one because
I'm not looking for it really. So
like I feel like it's so rare. The chance for them to appear should be upped because from what I understand, the rewards on those ones are like 10 times better than the normal ones. So
Let's
like,
remember in Mina.
They decreased the spawn rate by almost 80%.
So
I guess they
chat,
want it to be like a rare jackpot, but maybe it's too rare.
is there anyone
yeah,
in
it
chat?
should be upped. Or like maybe make them appear on the weekends when more players are around, right? Or something like that. It should definitely be a little bit more frequent, I'd say. But yeah, overall, I think we all agree it's a good tool that they add into the game, and also a very good tool that I think I don't know why it wasn't a thing on the game, which is an integrated like UI or page where you would see the events that were going on, and if there's a specific spot where the event is taking place, it will take you immediately or direct you into the game, the specific spot. For newer players, that's gonna be good, but for also veterans, for everyone, it's gonna be super good. I feel like
it's really good because to understand what event is going on and like what could happen, you really need to do a lot of reading. Like if you don't read the patch notes properly, the game is very bad currently at telling you what event stuff is happening. Like it might be some pop-up when you log in, like, oh yeah, this event is up, but that only happens for the newest event. If there's an event, like you come back to the game, an event started that is 3 weeks long, and it was the last week that it started, it won't really tell you about that easily.
No.
And also, like, in general, the stuff in-game is bad. You always have to go out and read stuff. And like, as we know, people in 2025 are not fans of reading at all, so it would definitely help if it was easier accessible, like the game just throwing it in your face a bit.
Indeed. I feel like now, Maces, that you just rejoined after a small break, if there was something like this in the game already, it would help you a little bit to keep updated on what it just come. So do you like this change, Maces?
Yeah, I don't know actually. I'm still catching up on all the new stuff coming.
Mhm.
Like I'm mostly excited about things that are coming. Yeah, I mean events definitely just being able to keep track of that better. Always been an issue, and like I usually go to Garmoth to see what events are, not even to the Black Desert website.
I see.
So like, yeah, better quality of life, better UI stuff. Like I think they're doing great with that. So I'm happy to see that's continuing. And on the map thing too, you guys talked about. As like a player who started from zero, I can see it's mostly for new players because like you don't have character slots when you're new, and it was a pain for me to move my characters manually to like the morning light bosses for the free embers for your sovereign weapon. So like those kinds of things are really nice to see that they're still going.
Yeah. The next UI that they wanted to change, it's or actually adding to the game is like an entire UI where you're gonna see what buffs and specifically like break down what buffs you're receiving for each let's say content, life skill, PvP, PvE in the game. So you're gonna be able to have it in one spot, like breaking down specifically what you're obtaining for each one.
That would be
And
really nice.
that's gonna be a good one, and I feel like it should have been added probably before, right? But yeah,
Yeah, I
I
saw
think
that too. By the way, do I still sound like I'm in a cave?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Normally
I
your
don't
Give it-
know.
sound
give
is
it-
pretty, clear, but today it's just so bad.
Oh, I mean,
um
I'll shut up then.
one thing that I wanted this to be mixed in a way with the something that it will come after, right? But I sort of want to introduce here. They also talked about the all-in-one presets, right? So
Yeah.
this all comes in together into helping all these players to grab all the buffs, click one button, and make sure you're popping the correct ones. So no more, oh, I'm missing my bell heart. Oh, I'm missing my food buff. Or I didn't activate my loot scroll or whatever. I don't know how they
Yeah.
are gonna do it, but it's
Yeah,
helpful.
true. And then it's also with the buffs, like the buff bar not being able to even show you all the buffs you have active. It's like when you're like buffing up for a node war or you're buffing up for a big life skill push, you will have more buffs the game is able to show you. So the only way to know how like the buffs you have is like keep track of them with some out of the game thing or just in your mind. And that is really annoying, I think.
Yeah.
So if we
Uh,
get something like to show us like, yeah, this is what the buffs give exactly, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd also like an ability to like cancel buffs. This is mostly for like foods that are not the highest grade food. It's basically only there where it matters. But like if you have a you use the cron meal and then you want to do something where you want to use a food that's not cron meal, you have to wait out the cron meal before you can even pop the other buff.
Yeah. Also, I feel like for the content creators that sometimes have to focus on their chat and all this stuff, like making sure that you pop everything with one button, it's gonna be nice, right, Hugh? Right, Quendia?
Yeah. So like we're waiting for all the buff deletion thing for a long time. It was like one of the biggest issue. Like I want to just delete something, but I can't. I literally can't. For example, I want to test something different. If you have cron meal, you have to use cron meal to delete it. You're just replacing it with something, but what if I want to just test something different? Impossible. The only way to remove the entire buffs on you is as you have to just go to the Arena of Arsha, or you have to wait until all the buffs just gone. So on this page, maybe finally they can add the delete option. You can just, like, let me just show it. People just see it right now. There are buffs, as you can see on the screen. We will be able to maybe delete this one. They can just maybe put here some kind of trash icon. We just click that and we will be able to just delete it. That would be amazing. Very amazing.
Yeah, I would love that. Oh, there's also one thing about all this like convenience thing. They are saying that they're gonna remove the like current. They didn't word it like that one, but I'm expecting it's like a different translated Morco gear bag and then also the Patrigio bag. And concerned what's gonna happen with because like the Morco gear bag, it works like it's basically a combining multiple hotbar swaps in one. If you put it in a hotbar, you can have 8 items in it, and just like swapping gear in all places, like if you CC something or has a skill that had CC on it that got removed because spaghetti, it will will lock you out of swapping for 5 seconds. But other than that, if you're having your weapon sheath, you can use it. Normal hotbars, you don't have to have a weapon sheath. That is really convenient when you're like you're doing multiple life skills on one character, or if you want to sweat matchlock hunting, you can fit in extra stuff into that, which is really nice. But like if they're gonna remove that and have an all-in-one preset, I'm expecting it to be like the crystal stuff where you have a channel, and then it's gonna make all that stuff all of a sudden less convenient. So that's what I'm a little bit worried about. It's not a super big deal, mostly niche stuff, but I would hope that they don't fuck that up.
I mean, at the end of the day, the reason they gave is like showing pictures of everyone's what I feel like Pearl's inventory looks like, which is a
Yeah, that's
complete
basically
mess.
it.
So just organizing that a little bit so that we don't get that trauma from seeing everything super disorganized.
yeah, it
It's
could
what
be
they
a,
are gonna try to address. Feel like.
Yeah, it could like be a negative effect of that change. Could be like it's easier to see them all and like have them in a nice little box, but it might be slower to change them. So if you are swapping it around a lot, it might if they don't make it as convenient that the current bags are now in like how fast it goes, it might end up being more annoying anyway. And that's what I'm a bit concerned about, because like I do use both of the types of bags for like my main shy, for example. I use it for cooking, alchemy, farming, and processing. So I have I use bags to swap around because I have different costumes and gear for all of those things. Like the accessories are the same, but like I swap some things around and I use bags for that. If that would all of a sudden like you have to stay there and channel some shit, or you would have to like go through one bag to see all of that, it would just make it less convenient. So it would like have the opposite effect of what they're trying to do.
I mean, I think they said though, like, correct me guys if anyone knows this better than I do. The people that already have a Patricio bag is gonna be given. I don't know if it was more slots or the new
the
outfit.
new thing in some way if you had stuff already.
Yeah.
Like
So-
you're gonna get compensated for having the things they're changed for sure.
Yeah. I mean, let's see how it ends up, how
But
they
yeah,
are gonna
the
work
thing
around it.
Ramon,
Let's
is
just see.
how is the new thing gonna work? Like with the swaps, is it gonna be quick and easy like it is now, or is it gonna be some clunkier thing?
We will see, man. But I hope that they keep the nature of what they want to achieve with this.
It
So
could be amazing change. It could also be a bit sketchy. I think it's like the idea is good at least.
yeah, let's see how it ends up happening. Okay, one another UI improvement that they talked about is the enhancing. I feel like this is also very helpful for newer players. Because I think that one of the most complex terms and theory, if we want to call it like that, for the newer players is when they come and join the game and see all these fail stacks, materials, what fail stack to use in what sort of gear. Is it worth? Is it not? So them trying to help this regard, it's gonna be good. I do not know. Maybe we can debate on this. And how do you guys feel like if the entire enhancing UI needed a rework, as they show in the images, or if it was good already? But they are gonna change the whole thing up, and they're gonna introduce a new inventory for all the enhancing materials. What are your thoughts on this, Arkyve?
I think it's a good change. Like, the new inventory is good, unless, let me specify, unless they decide to make it something with a very limited amount of slots and sell more slots, because it's just creating a problem and selling the solution, something that I would say we've had a bit too much of already. But if that inventory is not going to have a limited amount of slots and you can just have all the enhancement materials and items in there, I think it's a really good change. It separates them from the rest of the inventories, the rest of the storages, and cleans things up, makes things easier to access and easier to find.
Yeah.
As for reworking the UI, I don't think it was necessary. I have to say the new UI aesthetically looks better, but I find it a little bit dispersive compared to what we have now. What we have now is a very compact UI. It's very easy to like.
Yeah,
it's fine for now.
Yeah, the new one is a bit like it takes the entire screen. It's a bit has a lot of transparency to it. It's much.
Yeah, and also on the thing where I really hope that the slots will be easier, because like right now it is annoying, especially if you're doing accessory enhancing, the way I deal with it is like I have a separate enhancing character that is like an old character that I
I
do
think
play a lot, so I
everyone
have to
has an
create
even
the
character.
story on it. So for me, it's
Yeah.
not a problem anymore, but it is a lot of pearls in there.
Yeah. I'm not like that old of a player in video, but this sort of UI reminded me a little bit to the original UI with the circle and the enhancing bar. I don't know how it's gonna work, but it gave me all those vibes of the old sort of UI. I don't know if you guys remember that one. But we will see. For sure, the inventory for all the enhancing materials is W. Having everything and not needing to swap from characters or spending maids to grab fail stacks or
Yeah.
whatever, it's gonna be good. So yeah, I think it's gonna be good overall. And they are also helping. I think this is the last couple of changes that they want to do for the newer players, which is alleviating the tubal accessory enhancement difficulty by preventing try, duo, and try to fail. From Tet and Pent, they will be able to fail and disappear, but from there they won't be able to break, which is good. I don't know if anyone has anything to comment on that. It's just a good addition.
You
Yeah.
already did it, no? That change is already out, right? Because I was upgrading
Uh,
to Valor gear
Uh,
yesterday, and
Yeah.
like,
Or
my
yes.
accessories go up to try without like chance of failure, which is I think it's a really good change.
It's a good change, yeah. And for the finishing players of the seasons, they're gonna be giving them 10 billion to get a little bit things started, right? To start in the market. What do you guys think of the gift of 3 billion Aidex? Do you like new players to be billionaires right off the bat?
I think it's quite necessary, to be honest. Otherwise, it's gonna take too long for them, and they might get like somewhat discouraged too if they need to like start enhancing the Tuvala to deck, and then they don't have money, and they're like, oh, I need to grind 10 to 20 hours to get this money. This is gonna give them like a little bit of a morale boost in a way, I believe.
I want to point out that those 10 billions are not given away right off the bat. You
Yeah, I
have
need to do something, right?
complete some milestones like
Yeah.
Magnus
Yeah.
quest
Okay.
line and such.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Because it's like I think it's way better than the normal freebies they give out, because I think like this is a game where you're supposed to like do a lot of effort and get rewarded. So I think freebies in general are like it's not great, and I get they bring hype, logging stats, whatever, so they have to do some, but I don't like when the freebies are giga powerful as they are often. But this one is done in a way better way. It's not like you click a code and you get 20,000 crons. It's you have to do something.
Yeah.
Because like those type of things where you like get hammers and shit, I hate those things. But this is actually, and it's only for new players as well.
Yeah.
So it's where it like matters the most. So I like that idea.
Yeah, like actually getting through the main quest, you guys say, and they get 10 billion. I'm down for that. Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise you would like prefer to not do the main. Because like if you're an old player, you would skip the quest and you could like
Yeah.
use your time to get value. So it's kind of making up for the fact that you have to go through it once to like unlock all the knowledge and like story and whatever, and you get compensated for spending the time doing that pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Next thing that they mentioned, which honestly I think it's also good and helps people getting their party bosses from the Land of the Morning Light done, which is allowing players that already cleared their bosses to do or repeat the bosses with their friends from, I mean, guild or just the community. I think this is a W. Do you,
Yeah, very
do you
good.
guys agree? This is also very
It's
good.
something like, why wasn't it like this before?
Yeah, I
So
think it should have
like,
been
yeah,
done.
nice.
Yeah, great to that. Not much to say on that. That's good. Also, they are improving the obtention of the attraction daggers. I mean, I think it was very easy before. Now also a little bit more convenient. Sure, why not? Dungeons, I think what they did to dungeons is make it easier for a weekly purpose so that everyone can clear them up, and it's been helpful in that regard. But for me, doing the puzzles and the mini bosses and everything felt a little bit like losing a little bit the essence of the dungeons. So I want to ask, for example, Hugh, do you still do the dungeons? Did you like doing the dungeons with the newer changes? How did you feel about it?
Yes, I do dungeons with my guild members every week, and I like the simplified dungeon from Attraction. I think it's really good now. It's way better. But I heard it's still not easy for new players.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good. We like it. My guild members like it. I think it's really good.
I have a question. You. Did you
Yeah.
guys ever encounter with a bug? Because we all have very high AP, you know, for the easy attractions. Sometimes bug
Yes.
appears and every mechanics they just suddenly appears, you know, 5 mechanics at the same time. You guys also have that?
Yeah, we have many kinds of bugs, like Yolunakia bug, Sikarakia bug, all kinds of bugs. So in like Sikarakia, we try to stop our damage and stop damaging and
Yeah.
wait for a next mechanic and do more damage. We do it. Yeah, they have to fix it, I think.
Yeah, maybe they have to balance it a little bit around the current gear because sometimes we sort of bypass the mechanics. I also do
True.
that.
They can-
I encounter with those issues.
It's simple. Just make the dungeon like a dungeon, all of them, hard ones, only hard ones, and make the easy
Ooh.
ones. And we will have like 4 dungeons, and it will maybe take 2 and 2.5 hours, but it will be reward. The reward will be good at least. Not gonna lie, I tried once and it just created lots of bugs, and I just said I will not do that because it's just waste of time. If you just miss the percentage HP, it will be a problem. Like you said, you have to just stop yourself to not deal damage. That's not good.
It's disgusting when you have to do that. It's like you deal with something by AFKing instead of playing the game. It feels horrible.
Yeah, no, it's not fun. Like a simple fix for that would be locking mechanics at certain HP thresholds on the boss. Like if you go
Yeah.
past that HP threshold, the boss can't do that thing anymore. It feels awful to have overlapping mechanics, especially wipe mechanics, and it feels awful being punished for having too much damage. Like, what's the point? Especially for PvE players, we get more gear, and then you get punished for having more gear.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
especially they said we will talk about that, but we will get more monster AP. But they said we will just change the spots, the grind zones. But they didn't say that we will touch the attraction. What if the easy attractions compared to our gear? They'll be more easy. They'll be easier. We'll just one-shot them or something because we will have approximately close to 2k monster AP according to the new system.
Able to mechanic skip so much more of the Black Shrine as well, because like Black Shrine has a lot of stuff where like if you do enough damage, you'll be able to like skip a lot of mechanic. And with the AP changes coming up along with the offhand, I think a lot of like C8 to 10 Black Shrine stuff are gonna get completely broken by this.
Yeah. I mean, maybe what it could happen is that several mechanics join at the same time in one spot. So for example, it might be only me, but when I sometimes clear C8 Sangun because sometimes I just CBA, I just don't have the mood to go for C10s or whatever, and I want a chill boss to do.
Yeah.
And I go for C8 Sangun, and then I get him in the threshold where the HP goes into the rocks falling, and at the same time the red circle mechanic, and they just overlap, and you have to dodge, and they cancel one with each other, and it's like, okay, maybe I have to chill down a little bit so that the game doesn't break or anything. It scares me a bit. Nothing bad happens, but I have encountered with this. So definitely we encourage me to give a deep look into the dungeons and these bosses, your evolution, because it could cause some problems. Let's just say that.
Yeah, you also speed him up a lot if you like damage him a lot, because if you push him hard enough in certain points, you will skip a couple of these. Like he goes invulnerable and starts screaming tigers running over the arena.
Yeah.
Because like you do that, you get some other overlaps and then damage him enough, you'll just get less of those, and he will die way faster than you doing more damage.
Okay. And probably another change that they said that they wanted to make, Olvia school. This is something attached a little bit more deep maybe into my heart, because whenever I joined BDO, Olvia start was still a thing. So it was a big memory in my brain that I didn't start on the first time that I played BDO. I didn't start on Ancient Chamber. I had a complete different start, and I didn't know if I was stripping or not. So, given a little bit of relevance for the newer players back to Olvia, it's just um, you know, very cozy, comfy, warming feeling into my heart that they are giving this region again another purpose, because it's this farmland, this all sunshine, all good spot. So yeah, uh, giving Olbia this purpose for the new people is good. I feel like. Do you guys have memories on those times when we started in Olbia?
I started in Elia Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have because like I did play in the game release, but then I took a break and I come back and used Olvia, so I do have memories of it. Yeah.
Actually, it could be a good question to make to every video player, like to get to know how old of a player they are, in what region, in what start they decided to do. Because
Yeah.
then they decided they could give like Mantle of Winter, the Land of the Morning Light, Ancient Stone Chamber, but the older ones, some people started in Ilia, some others in Olvia. So it could be a good question to measure how old of a player we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's ask the chat first. You, please ask to your chat. Probably they're hearing what we say. How old they are, how long they've been playing video, and where they started.
Okay. When they
Probably
started.
yeah, when they started. Just check. And
When
my
they start.
chat,
When
please.
when did you start, chat? When did you start video?
And also
Yeah.
my chat, please. When did you start and where did you start? I think I started at Olvia. Probably I remember
Yeah.
Olvia, and it's been more
Mine
than
was
7 years.
Yeah, mine was Olvia too. The very first was Olvia with my DK, so it was Olvia. Yeah, pretty sure. But yeah, just to bring
Oh, many people
everyone
started
remember those first days.
2017, 18, 19.
What?
You played like
Oh.
more than 5 years.
You
Let's
have
check.
veterans in your chat, Hugh. Holy.
Yeah, yes, I thought they are Tuvala teamy, but yeah, they're better on.
We're all
They know what they have done in the game.
okay.
There are
Okay.
some old players that like never really, cared about getting gear and stuff. So they are still kind of Tuvala team. I have a few in my guild that is like they do life skill and knowledge stuff, and they never really bothered with getting gear. So they're kind of like Tuvala plus the other freebie stuff, and then not much more.
Okay. Now we move on to a big one, and for me it was a surprise. I want you guys to tell me, how did you feel about this? The very awaited change of the all-in-one preset. Whenever they announced it the first time in one of the balls, I cannot really remember if it was Calcium Ball or the past Heidel Ball. I actually thought they would take a little bit longer, because they actually said that it would take a little bit of dev time to actually make this happen. But now having a date of when this is coming up, which, if I'm not completely wrong, this is gonna come on the 27th of August, unless they push it a little bit forward or whatever. If they keep their word on the 27th of August, I think it's gonna make our life so much easier, and it's gonna be more than welcome. So, Gwendia, what do you feel about this all-in-one preset?
Me back?
You were eating a banana.
Yeah, I was eating a banana. Okay, so
Yeah.
what I'm thinking
You
about
like
it,
a Wukong.
what I'm like all-in-one preset thing was kind of, it wasn't thing like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like all the veterans you will remember, while you're fighting in Arsha Starzind, the only thing you change, Kutum or nowhere. That was the thing. Maybe if you're a Wasian, you're not even bothering yourself, because in PvP or PV or in overall and everything, you had some kind of PVX gear, but there was no big difference between having PV or PvP gear.
Yeah,
no
'cause
big
back
difference.
then you also wanted to use Exquisite for because AP difference was not a massive deal for
Yeah.
grinding. You would rather have a special damage.
Because of that,
Yeah.
the gap between like PV and PvP gear right now, giga. At like
Yeah.
in PV gear, you have, for example, 1.2k AP in endgame, but in PvP gear, your PV AP is 1000, so 200 AP is big, really big. It's not allowing you to grind in endgame zones, so you have to grind like that. In every stage of the game, the difference is huge. Just a random 727 30 gear score, full PvP setup guy can kill my 800 gear score full hard cap class easily, and maybe I can't do shit to him. So with some kind of all-in-one preset thing, you'll just click one thing, it just channels and change everything what you have, like add-ons, lightstones, crystals, and maybe core, like everything. It will change everything with one click. That was just dream, but now it's just it will be real. Like all veterans was just waiting for that. I'll be able to grind at Arch. And there is also another thing, we will also talk about that. That will be good.
Yeah. How cool it would be that everyone is allowed to go to Arsha, and the second you're gonna enter into combat because you see another player, he's outseed, he's gonna punch you, you see it coming. How cool would it be just by doing the alt-C? You swap immediately into PvP and you deactivate alt-C? Okay, sure, give it a cooldown, right? Because maybe the game starts lagging or breaking. If you
It will
do it like
definitely
alt-C,
happen.
it has like a 5-minute cooldown, but you do it immediately the second you alt-C.
Yeah.
How cool that would be.
Yeah,
And
we
it
will.
would,
If you press Alt C, the game will like freeze for a second, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because if you swap presets, you already see it.
Yeah, it's like then
yeah. But it would be cool if it happened. Anyways, what they said that they were gonna do is like, for example, you're gonna go into an AOS ranked matchup. You can select the preset that you want to apply whenever you get into that content, also into RBF. Let's see into what sort of contents they added, because maybe at first it could be attached into certain specific game modes, but it would be cool if they added into this sort of stuff that we're talking about. But yeah, I think this one is gonna be very welcome for most of the players. So yeah. Let's move on to this one, which is also it made me in sort of a way not mad, but like gosh, I spent this much time fucking searching for coffers in the middle of the land of the morning light, and now just by completing Igor Bartali's log, you're gonna be able to obtain all the stat rewards that are gathered throughout all the journals. So I think this is such a massive W because it doesn't kill the nature of getting to do the log and then obtaining something that I think everyone has to get in this game because it gives you so much. What do you guys think about this? We can start on Maces if you feel like.
Yep. I think I fixed my microphone, by the way.
Yes, that's why I sent it to you because I knew you fixed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Switched to my VR headset for some reason. Okay. Yeah. The journals, man, that hurts for me too because I just did them for the second time on the EU account. But I'm glad I never did the Dokebi stuff. That shit sucks. I didn't do it on either account. So I'm happy now they're making this change. I'll get the free DP from that. But yeah, like I tried to get so many friends into BDO throughout my year and a half, and all of them quit as soon as they found out about the journals. I'm not kidding. Like most of them barely got through the Magnus quest line, which is another pain in the ass, but they got through it. But then you see the journals, it's so much crap to go through for a new player, and it's mandatory. You have to do it.
Yes.
Even though like maybe you have to do it in 3 months, it is mandatory, otherwise you're left behind in PvE, PvP, everything. And so I'm just really, really happy for the game, first of all, because they'll keep more new players. Very simple.
Yeah, most
and
definitely.
I can have more friends join now, honestly. So it's a big
Yeah, it's
W.
really hard to get friends into the game because it's like they gotta be like unless they have someone holding their hand, it's really hard to get into because there's so much stuff that you need to know. And then it's like you find some weird items like, oh, is this worth something? This worth something, and you need some veteran to tell you like 90% of the things you see is not even worth looking at. Because like you're not gonna find out that yourself until you get some experience in the game. So making that easier to get into would be very good.
Yeah.
The fact that they put all the stats in the Bartali though makes me think like putting the stats that we already have retroactively in the Bartali is something. But does this mean we're not going to get any more stats from adventure logs in the future? Or does this mean that when they do, they're just going
Probably.
to add them to the Bartali?
I think either adding new chapters to Bartali or not giving more. I mean, it's already a good amount of stats just by doing the adventure log. If you add every stat of the game on adventure logs, let me check real quick how much they are. Like you win 9 AP, 9 DP, nearly 900, probably around 900 HP, stamina, weight limit. Actually, there was one thing that kept me wondering if they're gonna do it. I think they shouldn't, but it would be good. Like, you guys know the Ruluki one that gives you enhancing
stacks.
chance
Yeah.
for extra fail
Yeah.
stacks by
I don't
completing
think they will.
quests, right? It would be actually bad if they give those away. It should be like, okay, you do this many quests, you get rewarded with extra enhancing chance. What do you guys think?
That one is a very exclusive reward. It would be nice to have it on Bartali, but it takes away the exclusivity of it. And for the people that have spent thousands of hours doing those quests, I think it would be not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if that one is included or not into.
They said-
I hope not.
They said APDP type of stats. I mean, not, you know, the fail stack things.
We will see how they do it, right? Because
Because
it's
they're like
not
Kafra's
very-
journal, if I'm not wrong. You're getting, let me just
Yeah.
show it. The book, life book or something. I'm showing it on the
Mhm.
stream right now. This one, Kafra's Journal of Nature. There are different variations of this. I can remember. Or you can change to
yeah,
the other
yeah.
things. Yeah, you can change this into something like contribution points. Maybe I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember. There was 3 different variation, isn't it? Or am I
there's-
dumb?
Or at least 2, because I have 2 of them. I have the Journal of Nature, and then there's this one that gives you extra contribution, like 20%, something like that. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a third. Maybe I'm forgetting about it, but yeah, overall, I think it's a W specifically for newer players and maybe the
Exactly.
more, lazy ones that didn't want to do their logs.
So probably-
now you have it easy.
They will not just announce more books, or maybe even if they just, send some kind of adventure jewels on top of our heads, probably they will just add something different, like something not directly stats. If they want to give stats, they can, for example, add the stats to the Newlands main quest line. That would be good.
I mean, maybe they give the points based on the 10th anniversary and they don't give us, and they just give it to KR, and we have
Yeah.
to wait till we are 10 years old to get ours. But
Wait,
I mean,
here?
that's a KR privilege. I mean, I'm
Let's
only
ask you
saying
here.
that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could
sorry.
use that extra AP. I mean,
You still have APDP?
The 10-year anniversary one.
Yeah.
We're talking about that. Yes, we
Yeah.
have it.
So I have a
I heard
question.
Ken got it too.
Got
Only for
because-
KR.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Japan is also same old. It's you guys both
Yes.
like 10 years old. But I have a question. They mentioned, we will also talk that like 1 AP will give you 5 monster AP. So you guys will completely have like 6 monster AP compared to us for just free.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
But they said they
Easy.
will adjust the PV zone, right? So we have to see how it goes, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's some kind of,
The monster AP might not worth that much than what we think, right?
I mean, we will see.
Right now, it might change.
Yeah, we have to
Just
see.
throw
we have
in-
to see.
Just throw in some shade into KR, but nah. We're friendly here. We are not gonna throw knives at you guys or whatever. So
Okay.
let's swap the topic into this one, and I'm gonna throw it at you, Fleb, because they announced the addition of the farming seed pouch, the Klaus Altmund seed pouch, where you're gonna be able to gather your seed for farming. What do you think about this one?
It depends on how they do it. If it's basically just a fish tank type of thing where it just stores them, it will not change anything except giving you more slots on so it's easier to have a farming alt. And if that's the case, it's still like a little bit nice. But what I would like to see is a delete everything in this bag button for it, because the problem is if you wanna farm for XP or for moles or like just the byproduct or whatever, you're gonna breed everything, and that means you're gonna end up with millions of seeds that no one will buy on the marketplace, that you would have to delete one by one, and that's really annoying. So if they could make it that bag would have an easier time deleting seeds, that would be amazing. So that's what I'm hoping for. Or if it could just they stack inside the bag or something, that could also be a good thing maybe.
And would it be good if maybe you reach a certain amount of base grade seeds, you can maybe auto improve them without breeding or something like that?
Yeah, that could maybe be a thing. Maybe
Like
you
maybe
could,
a combined thingy?
yeah.
I don't know, something like that. There's a lot of room to think into cool stuff they could add into this. But overall, I think it will help you guys for sure.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for a way to like quicker get rid of seeds, because that is very annoying.
I also encountered myself into doing some farming lately, And yeah, it's a little bit of a rough time whenever you have to clean up your inventory from those.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And like at this point, because I'm like pruning and breeding, only I never harvest because I want more XP. I have like in my marketplace, I have a few thousand seeds that are not getting bought, and I am just like kind of pushing it away because right now it's not creating a problem with my warehouse weight, but eventually I will have to like take them out and manually delete them if there's not some change before that helps it out.
Yeah, I mean we will see, right? How
Yeah.
how it can be done, right? So let's move on to the utilize some energy from outs to hire workers and use Patricia Shop. Another W. I think whenever they implemented the what was it? The contribution, managing contribution, not contribution that I want to say. Invest energy
investment.
into specific nodes. Yeah, exactly. They did this thing, so expanded that into this sort of content. It's also massive, so W for them. And also, whenever there's the Patricia Shop event that it gives some goodies, it's gonna be also very helpful. So yeah, I like that one. Overall, these allow us to not go character by character, swapping. It's just quality of life overall. But I'm gonna keep with you, Fleb, because this one was something that I didn't really expect it. But this might actually be a very good one for you guys, unless
Yes.
you do something different. But they
Like
are gonna completely remove the silver embroidered clothes.
Yeah.
They're gonna give us some stones, depending on the level of enhancement that this gear had, and they are just gonna combine the stats or the effects into the Manos clothes.
Yeah, I think that's it's a change that makes sense because it was a bit of a weird place. It's just like you're gonna be you're gonna easier overload because like in a lot of life skills I would use the silver embroidered anyway because mastery is not a big deal in all life skills and I have so much of it anyway. So like for example I would never have gotten pen alchemy clothes if this shit didn't get announced because I would get 3k anyway. But since I want the extra XP, I got them now. Anyway, because it's gonna get the merging stats. And one thing that I'm interested in seeing is because they did say all of the effects, and I'm wondering if that includes for alchemy, both the Manos and silver embroidered have time reduction. On cooking, only the silver embroidered is gonna have the time reduction. Or how is it currently? So I'm wondering if cooking also gets time reduction at that point, because that will give you a bit more freedom of lightstone combinations and utensil usages. It would be pretty cool.
I mean, we will see how they do it, but I felt like this was actually massive for you guys.
Yeah, I think it's good.
With also the other addition of the crystals.
I just think that I'm expecting the crystals to give a bit of mastery, and that is like it doesn't make sense because you don't even need full best gear to get 3k mastery without special buffs anyway. So I think like I like mastery mattering, and I don't think the cap is like too low. That's the main issue. Like the crystals giving mastery makes sense in isolation. It just doesn't make sense in the context of 3k mastery being the cap because it's too easy to get to it. I mean, it would still cost a lot of money because the gear is expensive, but it doesn't make sense that you have deck prions where they're not needed to get 3k. That's my issue with the whole thing. But I do think the crystals are good.
We were also talking before the podcast started. We joined a little bit early and kind of debated a little bit on this one. But what if this sort of addition into the gear unification and everything means that in the future they're going to look into... Because we talked about this on previous podcasts, specifically for the ones for the life skill. How sort of mastery should be balanced in a way so that the people that have more mastery feel rewarded, because right now that balance is sort of a little bit inconsistent. Maybe this is the beginning of what they want.
I think the easiest way is to just not have a hard cap, because the way the mastery works for everything now, it's not gonna be some like magical breakpoint that will make it suddenly insanely good or something. So I think just having it go further, because like there is a limit to things. Like if you have a lot of like mastery buffs from a weird event and shit, it's like, and you have good life gear, they are just pointless. But if there wasn't a hard cap, and it was just like some soft cap, at least you could use them in some way. So that's what I would like to see probably. Make it a soft cap, like a pretty maybe a pretty hard soft cap in the end, but not a complete hard cap at least.
Okay.
I
mean, we
agree
will
with that,
see.
and I have something to
Oh,
talk about
sure,
it.
go.
I asked that actually to Wansu. 3K Mastery live skillers are not
Okay.
getting feels like you're not getting rewarded, and they are playing same content and for 2 years, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And Wansu, what Wansu said was on a high level. I talked with Wansu after a bowl. Wansu
okay.
said he knows the problem. He said he will do better. That was all. And I talked
Okay.
about the bow hunting.
Because I feel like in the past they have not even been aware of the issue really. So I mean that's like the first step. We need them to be aware first.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
They
mean-
know it. They know it.
Yeah, it might
So-
just be that that's fair. Like I know live skilling is not the biggest part of the community, but
No, but it would make
Yeah.
sense that
Yeah.
it's more balanced. So Hugh actually saying this also bring us some light into this because
Yeah.
I mean it gave us hope that they will be looking into this.
I have another thing in my mind. We just talked about that in
Okay.
my stream a few days ago. Well, we just, recapping the entire thing on live stream.
Mhm.
The Jin crystals, this Jin crystal, they will cost a lot. If you do not have +5 will directly give you Jin, isn't it? If I'm not wrong. +4
Yes.
won, +3 won,
Uh-huh.
and the others, they will just give you the silver, if I'm not wrong. That was the thing.
That's how I understood it as well. 1 and 2 will be silver, and then the other 3 will be the 3 stages of crystals. So currently, from the looks of the materials, it will be a bit cheaper to make silver embroidered and prep for it than it will be to get them after the release.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my suggestion
So
is if
people
you guys
get
looking
ready.
for if you want to get for Jin directly for your life
Mhm.
skill character, try to buy silver embroidered +4 +3 at least, because the recipe is like this: 1 essence of down is 100 million. This is for Von by the way, Von W. 1 essence of down and 30 or 50 magical shard, 500 magical lightstone. What is 500 magical lightstone? Let me just show it in game. For 1 only, you will need this 500 magical lightstone.
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to be something like 10.
We just did the
No.
calculation. We did the calculation. If you have nothing, let's say that you have no silver rate and you want to get all the Jin things, you need 75k magical lightstone. And it's too much. It's too fucking much. Like, I don't know what they're planning actually. When they remove all the silver embodied from the system, probably lightstone market will just be, bump out all the lightstone markets.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of 50 million ones, 250 ones sitting on the market, and those give quite a bit. So maybe those are sold now because
Yeah, they will be sold.
I have a bunch of them. And one, we will talk about this in a little bit, but there's some of them that they're going to remove because of the resistances being gone and they're going to give us the money. But there's some that are still in the game that will probably be brought alive and maybe sold on the market because of this. So yeah, can't wait to see how they expand and look into this, because I'm gonna use this also not as an introduction, but I'm gonna use the same argument for what we're gonna be seeing on the PvP changes. But for me, I don't know what you guys think on this ball. Outside of the quality of life changes that we are still not done with them, but outside of this, what they really gave us on this ball is like, okay, the game is now 10 years old in KR in Japan. The game is completely different from what it was 7 years ago. We really need to rework and rebalance the base core systems of this game to make it make sense to the current game that we have right now. So we're going to be looking into how the core base of the game works on the PvE, on the PvP, on the life skills, and hopefully they make it in a way that makes sense and it's healthy and good for the game. And I'm very, I don't know, for my perspective, I'm very happy and remain hopeful that this is done now, because I think it's important that these base core systems are looked through in order to evolve into the modes and all the contents throughout the game. You have to rebuild the base in order to get into the roof, which would be Node Wars and all these modes that the game have, right? So this is a good scratch starting from 0 point, let's relook into this basic stuff and then move forward into the future. I think it's a very good point of view. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah.
I think it's well, the changes that they're pushing forward are nice. At the base level, they're nice. The unified gear is nice to relieve like the need to have multiple builds or to swap build when you want to change character or tag a new character. That's nice. The new sub weapon relieves a lot the stress of reaching certain threshold for PvE, especially if you want to access C8 and C10 calamity bosses. Overall, is good changes, but what I'm afraid of is that the sheer amount of changes of systemic changes that they're touching at the base level, it's so much stuff that is going to affect balance that they're taking a gamble. Because all of those changes together, nobody can predict how badly it will affect balance or how well it will affect balance, and for how long. In case it affects balance negatively, how long it will take to fix it. Because with all those changes, if it goes to a point where a lot of people, especially PvPers, lose interest in the game, they might lose a good chunk of their player base for, well, as long as it takes to bring the game to a state where people say, okay, I have hope again. I feel like playing again. I feel like it's a good product again. So I feel like it would have been better if they rolled changes one at a time. Let's say with a 2 or 3 weeks gap between each other, going for like 2 or 3 months. But they're effectively rolling out all changes within a 2 or 3 weeks gap in total. And then it will take a while for people to get their hands on the new gear, especially. So I hope he is going to keep a close eye on how that affects balance in the long run, not just in the first period right after release, because we're not going to see the full effects for at least a month.
I agree. We have to remain like hopeful that it's done in a way that it's helpful for the game, but also like they also mentioned it, like the stuff that they planned for the PvP, for example. I believe they said it. They want to evaluate and see it how it's gonna be going in the global labs. That's why I think those are gonna be coming on late July, so that we can see and test properly that the formulas and everything is gonna be
I
calculated.
think that's a
properly.
problem. The part of
yes.
testing properly, because
Me
I feel
too.
people just jump on global labs, walk around, but they're not like properly testing and giving feedback. I think that's a big problem community-wise.
Like
Even
you're gonna have a
feedback.
node war on global
Yeah.
labs or RBF even. So they should make it easier to get into global labs if that's the intention, because it's kind of a pain right
Definitely.
now.
On that side of things, I've always had the idea that I don't want to slander PA, but I feel like they've always used Global Lab rather than a tool for testing, more of a tool to generate hype. Because almost always, for every update they push out, they roll it out in global servers, well, in retail servers.
Within a week, it's way too fast.
Quickly.
It's way
They
too
don't have
fast.
time to gather feedback.
Yeah.
They don't have time to gather feedback and do something about it by the time they release it. It's usually like a time span going from 4 to 10 days. That is not enough, and usually they don't apply feedback when there is any. But usually there isn't much, because again, the way they do it doesn't incentivize people to offer feedback. It incentivizes more just to try things out and generate hype. It would be nice if they like sent forms to people who test things out and ask for feedback, which is what a lot of developers out there do. Like, even I can make one. I'll make 2 examples. Even a game like Genshin Impact, which I do not like, but at least they do it. When they push out a patch, they send a form. They send a poll out for people to give their opinions on the changes, on the updates, and I feel like PA should do the same, especially for global lab stuff.
Okay, could be a way to kind of reach what overall the community has to say on certain topics. Could be an interesting approach for them to do.
I mean,
but yeah, did you want to say something?
Yeah, like everyone is probably thinks same. I don't know if people just disagree to this. Like, this game is savable, but nobody trusts our developers. That's the problem, I believe, because they never ever showed us that they're actually listening about the class balance or game balance, like PvP, PvE, multipliers, damage, go in and out. They're just showing, things to on top of us. We're catching them, and they're not just taking back. If this, for example, someone is just throwing at this t-shirt to me. This is this jumper or t-shirt, I don't know what we say. He's just throwing it to me. I'm trying it, and I'm saying that this is just big for me, or this is just small for me. Please, let's change it. And the seller or the owner of this thing is just already gone. He's trying to, recreate or trying to sell the different product. But I'm just saying that this one is just not okay, and it's not fitting to me. I'm yelling to them. Sometimes I'm swearing to them. I'm being toxic as a content creator. It's not working. So right now, for this bowl, I can say that if they can just actually listen our feedbacks for the first time in the history of the Black Desert Online, first time. I'm talking about the stat balance and the class balance, okay? They almost never listen community if it is not populist. They only listen you if there's some kind of broken class, they just public execution. They just do public execution. And they're saying that we'll listen your feedbacks. No, you're not listening our feedbacks properly. So for the first time of the history of the Black Desert Online, if they can actually listen what we say, then we can maybe save this game as like players. He just gave an example of the Genshin Impact, isn't it? Game has to be like that. I don't know Genshin Impact, not my type, but if the developers actually collect feedbacks and they develop game into that way, that is big W. We are looking for that. Quality of life, all other things, maybe life skill things, all of them 10 out of 10. We all love them, but it's one of the biggest chronic issue. They're just throwing the t-shirt to you and they're not caring if this fits on you or not. That's their problem. We're just yelling to them, hey, you have to change this. It's too small, it's too big. Like, I don't know how to just explain it. Like, I'm just trying to explain it like to 80 IQ people. Like, we're just, cooperating with our CMs. They're also working hard, but we cannot just draw attention of our developers for these topics. And I'm afraid, and 80%, 70%, it's so maybe 10% chance that we're gonna save this game, because 80% of my heart is just believing this. They again throw these stat changes, all the changes. This is the biggest header ball ever that people just say this header ball is just meh or something. They're stupid. They have no idea what's coming. Like,
this is like
the entire game will change from the roots.
Yes.
Damage formulas, calculations.
I think it's just from the base. That's what I try to say. It's just from scratch, from zero. You're gonna touch so much stuff that I don't think us talking here, we don't have the bigger picture of how big this is gonna be.
And
but
the global lab will not be enough to just save it, to just get feedback, because they just said we cannot do RBF, we cannot do node war, we cannot do capped, uncapped things, we cannot do everything in global lab, and we cannot just play the game in global lab. We will play the game in our official servers. Every week, they have to stop what they will do to the game. When they started to just implement all these things to the game, they have to stop and they have to listen what we say, or game will just be even worse. That's what I believe. That's why when people ask me that, I'm just saying that if they can handle the entire things that they announce in the global lab, the headable, I'm saying this is 9.5 out of 10 headable. This might be the best headable, or the reason of the death of the game.
Yeah, that's what I feel like as well. It's a lot of things that are a bit up in the air depending on how they go forward with it, but it has the potential extremely amazing. The amount of stuff we're getting is like so much more than ever before.
Yeah. And I feel like we've been very vocal here on the podcast. There has to be a way where a new sort of mechanism is built within PA and the community in a lot of terms, but we talked about class master Discord in order to approach more precisely on what separated class and spec of the class needs in order to balance properly the classes, but also like there has to be new sort of mechanisms and ways where all our ideas and thoughts can feel like be heard, and them addressing them and asking us if it's a good way to address them, or a more fluent or natural way to communicate with the dev team, because in the end it's going to be better for them, better for us, and we are all going to end up winning. I feel like it's just stupid if they don't do it that way. But
Yeah, I was
yeah, go
just
please.
gonna say that they need to like send out more. Like this is gonna sound stupid maybe, but they need to send out like more frequent surveys to every single region of the game and see what people think about like class balance, which class they think is too strong, too weak, what they think about life skill balancing and upgrading and everything like in detail.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, and in addition to that, I think there has to be more communication than like just every 6 months or every 3 months and then
Mm.
Yeah.
silence for months and months and months. Like, so many other MMOs that I play, I took a break from BDO, went to play other ones that I play, and I'm like, wow, these guys are actually talking to us constantly. And they're telling us what they're going to do about the game. And there's like a roadmap that keeps getting updated every week. And BDO is such an incredibly like weird game among the 5 MMOs I play. It's not even funny. Why is there such
Mm.
little communication? I just don't get it. And that needs to increase by like
Yeah.
5 times.
And just
Would be
make it
really
in a
good.
natural way. Like us as community, you can handpick valuable players that you may consider for balancing. You grab the players that are up for the task from like you grab the 10 best sages from EU, NA, KR, whatever, and decide what is good for the class, and you gather their information. Or you grab the life skill community on all the regions because it's so different from MENA to KR to NA to EU. They work in a different way. You gather their opinions and then decide how to approach the balance in the life skill community and content. I don't know, it's like us as player base, I feel like we are very vocal and we would actually accept to do those jobs like for free. Like
Yeah, exactly.
we would be
It
down to do those. So I don't know. I mean, what's stopping them from making them? So let's make here in this podcast a call for PA to think of this. Maybe we can have a conversation
Yeah.
on our game that we all love so much, and I think that it's crucial.
I mean,
And yeah, go.
I'm 100% sure that our CMs will just, cooperate with us. We already started, for example, for Wukong. I just created a channel in my Discord and I started to gather some kind of urgent feedbacks because all these type of fresh contents, they are being more open to get some feedbacks. And in few days, we will just complete it. By the way, if you have some kind of feedbacks, join my Discord. In that Discord, get your role and Wukong channel, share what you think about the class, and send your feedbacks. Of course, don't tell like, I like the class, no, not like this, just feedbacks. This skill needs some kind of thing, or class needs something like that. And I believe when they started to just, put all these big patches, we will just, again, work with our CMs. Together, we'll just share what we think. And the part that, even our CM and GM team, they're sending everything to them. But the question is, the big question mark, do they actually reach the correct place, the correct person, whoever just responsible these things? Or even if they just start to read what we say, do they have enough experience what we are talking about? That's also another big question mark. I never ever encountered just a developer playing a class at top level. Never ever. I'm not judging them, but like a chain can only be as strong as the weakest link, and the different Marcus links. If there's some kind of some kind of weak thing, you can only as strong as like that weak link.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, if the developer has no enough experience, how the guy or the people will understand what we're talking about? For example, for Dracania, I'm sending lots of feedbacks. I'm trying to point out that this one, bro, this is the chronic issue. This is, fix it. For over 2 years, 3 years. They are there for 3 years. Why? Because probably they do not have enough experience to understand what is the problem. We are pointing it down. I believe that our feedback's reaching them. But in their mind, according to their experience, it's not problem. So for the DR changes, evasion changes, we would like for most of the podcasts we talked about the carpet meta, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
there's new changes. They're just they actually listen to what we say. The carpet meta will probably be removed. That's good. But how? There is no detail.
How it's addressed. Yeah.
Like they just said,
I remain skeptical.
Yeah, damage reduction rate will be removed, and they will just give flat DR to people while in super armor. How it will work? Like,
yeah, because they started saying it will be additive or whatever. Like right now, we are not very conscious of how the formula works, how summon damage, like, I mean, we can get into this in a little bit because it will come eventually, but suddenly they said that pet damage did more damage at night, and I was
I
like,
was
Yes,
flabbergasted, that man.
But he was like,
Since
"What
what?
the hell?"
Pet damage is pets are
Like,
considered mobs by all
Yeah.
means
I
in the game.
was so weirded out. There's so much stuff that we didn't know existed in this game. And again, to conclude this sort of, because we have to keep moving, we're not even halfway through the stuff that was said on the ball. There's a lot of stuff that was addressed that they're gonna rework on the core base of this game, that it's gonna be good to be touched and be more vocal and, you know, show us how you intend to do it. And please, in the process, let the community just hear the community how we feel about it, because it could go either way, either super good or super wrong, and we all want to go super good to get the best video that we can out of this. So yeah, let's move into the last couple of quality of lives. We've already talked about the apparel packs. Apparently it's going to be a dedicated storage for which will have up to 40 slots, and depending on the amount of Patrigio's bags that you had, they will increase the number of storage slots that you have over there. But yeah, we will see. We've already talked about this one, we can skip it. Let's see how they actually implement this, and if it's gonna be as easy as it is right now to, you know, swap between sets that we have. A new one that actually surprised me about the maid feature, that you're gonna be able to create a main maid with the apparel of specific classes. I heard about DK, or they are showing in the images the ranger, and that they are gonna experiment with AI so that you can talk to your mates. I think that's gonna be a little bit of content, obscure content creation corner that people are gonna be making, talking to their mates. What do you guys think about the maid?
I think.
Go
Well,
on.
I want to say this is a bit of waste of development, but I guess the role players need their toy to play with this.
Okay. We're gonna have in-game wives or boyfriends, girlfriends, everything.
Yeah,
I bet a lot
I
of
mean,
people are gonna use that for that.
it's cool, but I mean, I hope that they weren't using people that could do other meal stuff for it, because then it would be sus. But I don't know
Yeah.
how that works. Maybe they have like a team of people only like cosmetic type shit, and that's what they're doing. And I think if it's between that or another new outfit, then this is maybe even better because you don't have to pay for it, right?
Yeah. Let's see how they implement this. I just found it funny. I just wanted to
Yeah.
do a quick shout out to this feature that they sort of announced. I found it funny. That's it. Another content that actually for me was also a big surprise, because quite some time ago they announced that they couldn't make a mode for Naval PVP happen because of development issues, or maybe server stability, or for whatever reasons. But they figured out how to make new Naval PvP content to give, I guess, ocean content another purpose of being, right? Because this is gonna include all the boats, all the ocean content, I guess. It's gonna be like a occupation system, like the Node Wars. I didn't really get how the system is going to be. The rewards are also going to be good, because if it's the same as occupation node where the rewards are actually pretty good. Do you guys do any naval PvP, or I mean, I know you do PvP, not PvP, you do a lot of sailing and bartering and stuff, but are you actually like intrigued by this content?
The blue battlefield, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not at all. I think this
Okay.
will be like a costly failure, because while they are aware of like the issues, like they're gonna reduce ship stats, not like desync on land is one thing, but desync on the sea is like a whole different level. But it's like even if you do that, it's still ship PvP, which is like really weird, and it's like just controlling your ship is very clunky. Like a few people enjoy it. I'm like kind of enjoy it, but not really. I think it's way too janky to have be like actual content besides grinding, maybe. So I mean, it will be kind of interesting see, but I don't think it will be very fun. And another problem is because of how punishing it is to, like, if you want to get in and learn ship PvP, like this would maybe be a way to get some ship PvP done without being super punished, because it's like 3 people doing it in the universe, and they are like really good at it. And then if you want to get in to learn, you like, maybe you find them on Orsha on their grind spot, and you want to fight them, and then you get completely destroyed, and now you have to like map back, revive your ship and revive your sailors, and like it's, if you die, it's like it's so punished. If you kill someone and it was not on Orsha, so you like lose karma, you go negative immediately, killing 1 ship. So the grinding that back takes ages as well, because it's naval karma to kill, which is, you know, not big volumes. So the whole thing of ship PvP is like, it's weird and janky, and they seem to understand some of it, because like reducing the steps would definitely help, but I think it will be low participation, and the people who are going to participate are going to be so much better than everyone trying to get into it, that it's going to be extremely gatekeepy. So I don't think it will work well at all.
But at the same
But
time,
I
it
like
will
the
push
idea of
the
like,
players, right, to get
yeah.
into the level of the others.
I mean, maybe they, yeah, I think that the biggest possibility of it being good in some way is that having ship be not as punishing to learn. Like if you are in there, I'm expecting it to be way easier to like revive your ship and get back into it, and not have to like send a lot of elixir of regen to revive your sailors and sail back for 30 minutes or something. So in that regard, it could be very good. I just don't think, even if they make it as good as it could possibly be, I don't think it will be very popular, because C content is still super weird. But I mean, at least this is like a good thing for that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess they can try how it goes. Does
Can I say
anybody
2
of you
things
guys?
about this?
Yeah, sure. Go, please.
I think, like as he said, naval content, naval combat is janky as hell. There's a lot of fixing there to be done. But overall, I really like the idea of naval large-scale PvP, especially since this is going to be guild content, and we never have enough guild content. More is always better.
Okay.
But I have 1.5 issues with this. First, it's at node war times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Oh, yeah,
Like either Nodor or Blue Battlefield. Just put it, since we don't have 2-hour Nodors anymore, put it after Nodor time, or instead of making it unavailable on Saturday, make it unavailable on Sunday, and do it at War of Roses time. Don't overlap it with Nodor times. And then the second,
a choice, because if it is a choice between Nord War and Blue Battlefield, it will have
Everyone is gonna
way
be.
less rotation than it could have had, and it's already
people are
gonna be
gonna
low rotation. You need to have a ship, right?
Yeah, like I believe a lot of people would have fun doing this, even just because it's guild content. You go in, you do some wonky, funny PvP, and you do it. But since it's
At least
another
like try it out a few times will definitely be a thing.
And then there's another thing that
Mhm.
left me perplexed. They recognize that ships are desyncy and they are slowing them down. Okay, have they not seen the rest of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
PvPers
it's like the mouse movement change is addressing that, so they are aware. I think they are just very scared of doing stuff because of what like
a lot of PvPers recognize that since server infrastructure is never going to get meaningfully upgraded, combat in the game has to be slowed down across the board for things to be smooth again. And this is the thing with the, like, they realized it was a necessary measure in a 20v20 game mode in the sea. But when we have people literally standing in T-pose and node war, that's not an issue.
Yeah, it's weird.
We need the same change to happen in PvP, like outside of
Node wars need.
But you're asking for PvP to be slowed down, as in the attack speed, casting speed.
In general, like combat in general has to be slowed down.
Yes.
And how to feel about that one? Because one of the biggest detrimentals for me, for instance, on the hardcore server, is that not having the amount of attack speed that we used to have on normal game actually made me feel that the game felt pretty bad.
We got the hardcore server was extremely slow, like slower than it would need to be. A big problem with the hardcore server is that classes are balanced for stats that we have outside the hardcore server, but we didn't have there. But in general, like we gotten to the point where the APM, the amount of actions that we perform in game, can get higher than the server tick rate, especially when servers are struggling with PvP. Even in AOS, oftentimes you can not see people performing actions because the server tick rate and the game is lower than the speed of the actions they're performing. The game can't keep up anymore. We've been speeding up animation cancels. Then last year we sped up. We allowed most movement skills in the game to scale off of movement speed. Now everyone is desyncing. Garden is desyncing. Wizards are desyncing. Almost Shy is desyncing. The game can't keep up anymore. Like, combat doesn't feel fun when it's this fast, but it's also not smooth.
It works fine when you're doing like easy, then it's completely fine. But whenever you need the combat to be reliable, like if you're doing hard boss shrine or you're ping, that's when you need the combat to be responsive, and it's just not because it's too fast. And you can clearly notice like different boss shrine bosses, for example, they all have this like weird, like they all have like kind of weird hitboxes and all that shit. But one boss that works way easier to like understand what the hell is going on is Sangoon, because it's just way slower than most of them. It's literally just that he's slower. He still has a lot of one shots and all that shit, but he's slow, so you can deal with it a lot easier. But I think the reason why they're doing it for like the ship P there, and they're not doing it for the rest of the game, because it's very easy to just like have it be different there, because ship content is so weird that like it's not going to be big impact. They all of a sudden make your class feel super different when you go into a Nord War because you get slowed down. I think that is like too big of an impact to just have it be like you're slower in Nord War. They would have to like have the whole game be slower, and that's a very big thing to do. So that's why I think they haven't done that yet on the for the rest of the game. But I do think it's somewhat needed, like, because it was always a problem with desync. Like when I played back in release, like before Medaya was a thing, when you were like you're running around in plus 50 Uria fighting at Hex Sanctuary and shit. It was still desync, but it was not as extreme because not everyone was super fast. It was like Warrior's Shield Charge was the most game-breaking thing in that regard. Like I played Warrior, so sometimes I would be able to like charge away, and then like another Warrior or Berserker would like grab me, and I would desync back into his hand or some shit like that. But it was way less of that shit in general because it was just slower in general. The whole game.
I mean, just to round things up, I feel like PA is now more than ever conscious of how this affects the player base and how frustrating it is. And I think in some sort of way, they are trying to address it, because obviously maybe they don't want to change the game engine, they don't want to address the servers. They're trying to help their game by cutting down the mouse movement, Nova speeds, the amount of hits of the skills. We've seen lately a lot of changes in order to help the infrastructure and the whole structure of the game to perform better. And I think they're going one by one to see if it reaches a point where it feels good. And I feel like we will have to wait, because I do expect more changes in the future from their side to try to address this issue. So let's see where we are directed with this. But yeah, I think it's an important one, because we have to meet what you guys talked about. We have to meet the equilibrium in between the game feeling responsive but not feeling slow either. Because if video shines for one thing, is the combat nature and the combat style. And if you touch the one thing that I feel like video excels at, which is the combat, it could be the end of everything. So
yeah, that's why they're scared of it. But
let's see how we are.
I mean, the problem is like video shines in combat when it's not in PvP and hard bosses. It shines in combat when you're doing easy grind. It doesn't not shine in combat at all in the when you need it to be reliable and responsive. I would say it's like one of the worst MMOs in that regard when it comes to like high-end content combat. But it does when you're doing easier stuff, it does feel amazing. But like the desync and the jankiness of everything, when you need to rely on it, that does not feel good at all, in my opinion.
Oh well. All right, let's move on to the next stuff, because we have to speed it up a little bit. The things they announced a new sort of agris kind of fuel, so that we are gonna be able to obtain treasures outside of the native zone So for example, we would be able to go to a 300 plus AP, such as we could go DSR, choose to get the all-in piece while grinding, and we will have a fuel in which within a time frame or this whenever the fuel is consumes, you will be able to drop treasures from the mobs with this.
You would drop the painting on Olens, and then you could use it on DSR, consume the points there.
Yeah, you grind at some
So-
certain spot, then you'll just fill it, and you will spend it on the other spots with 300 AP
I
or
see.
more.
Yeah,
Not bad.
I see.
bad.
I think it's a
How do
cool
you
idea.
feel about it?
I
Wendy?
think it could be great, but it relies on how the drop rate of it. I hope that it's not too easy to get these paintings, because it shouldn't be like you can grind anywhere and get any treasure. But it's nice if you're like you get stuck somewhere super long. Let's say you're stuck on Paddix Island for like 300 hours or something. You can put like 50 of those hours at some other place. That would be nice. But if you could put like 200 of those hours in another place, I think that would not be good or fair at all.
Mm.
So it depends
How-
on like how the balancing of it is. But the idea is
Yeah.
pretty good.
How did the KR community receive this change, Q? Did you guys enjoy the idea of being able to grind treasures from other spots rather than the native spots?
Well, I'm not sure about Korean people's idea, but I like it because I have to get the Olympics. I think it's a really good
okay.
idea. Yeah.
Okay. Aidex, do your guys actually enjoy this concept?
Yeah, I think it's a good quality of life change, honestly.
Overall, they
Because
like it.
some people spend thousands of hours on one spot and they make so much less money, for example. Yeah, it's just generally a really good quality of life change.
Set it up to
Okay.
like they didn't share like that. They shared nothing. They just gave the basic infos in the entire available. For example, if I grind 10 hours at Histria, and if I be able to that 10 hours grind equal to 1 hour at some other spots, then it's just be that content. If it's just like 1 hour Histria will be equal to the other spots. I mean, I'm talking about the filling the new Agris system. This Alan Serbin system, I don't know what is it. Then it's okay. But if I grind 10 hours for another 1 hour, then there will be no big difference. For example, I need Elton
Yeah.
piece. I don't care because they just
I don't-
destroy the treasure items value in the game mostly.
That's what I think. Because like if it would have too big of an impact, like you grind 1 hour history and then you can get 1 hour on DSR after that, that would be way too much. It would it's not really devaluing the treasure itself. It's just lowering the cost of the treasure by a lot. And
It will probably have a way lower drop rate, I assume.
I'm expecting it to make sense in that regard, not be like you can outsource your entire grind. But yeah, it's judgment on that. We'll have to wait to see how
Yeah.
the points work and the drop rates and shit.
But overall, from what I'm hearing from you guys, is something that we appreciate from them thinking about. So
Yeah.
although we
Yeah.
could rate
When you do
these
get
things
stuck,
as a bad audio.
It's nice to get some variation. Like
Yeah. Okay.
One of the biggest of the patch, I believe.
Yeah, this one, I didn't expect them to drop this massive bomb. But yes, guys, they are revamping the whole Alchemy Stone system.
I need this.
We have some images on how they intend, which actually maybe Hugh can translate some of them because they have KR text on it. But from what we see on the images, the Alchemy Stones are gonna obtain an pity system. They are gonna introduce some other materials to enhance it, such as the stones, or you are gonna be able to crown them. Oh lord, this is big, and we've been waiting for a long time on this. What
So
do you
here's the
guys feel about this? Quendia, you can go because you need your shiny,
Yeah, like-
stone, right, to be full cap.
In the
hard
video,
cap?
like there are lots of things missing in these images, but in the video it said that trying to the shining from resplendent, from the splendid to the shining, it will have big agris that they said. But until splendid, there will be no big, it will not be big issue from the splendid to the shining. But here is the thing in this image. It says 3,670 cronstones for shining on this image and 35 attempts. You know what? It's
Yeah, but-
nothing for end gameplay.
It also shows the bluestone, which we don't have anymore. So
Yeah.
something is not right here.
Probably it's, I don't know. If it is like this, 35 agris and 3.6k cronstone to reach the shining, I can
You're
give
gonna get
double.
it day
I can
one.
give double. I don't care. Like, it's just like, how much is that? 120k
That's
crons or something.
100.
It's nothing for end game player, and I'm true end
Yeah.
game, like, because only like close to hard cap players can benefit of this shining. For like 310, 320 people, I don't think they start to benefit of the splendid because of the attack speed. Instead of they prefer to go for Wellsat for additional AP, because in
Especially
future,
if it changes, Veil is gonna get some value as well.
but no, like in end game situations, still the shining will be better because 5% attack speed.
Yeah.
Imagine, you know how we'll see the difference between well and the shining. You can consider turn off your well, grind for 1 hour. It will be that much big.
Yeah, I mean it's still gonna be big. I'm saying like because of the things they're doing to like cheat AP values and stuff, a well difference to the other Alk stones is gonna be a bit less. So you're gonna keep well for a bit longer, I think. But yeah, you would still prefer to go to the like.
So we did some kind of
normal
calculation for that. For the shining AP version, we will probably like the life skill and the DP one will not be preferred that much. But the offensive one, the red one or the purple one, is just like the well has 8 AP. It has 8 AP. And it will provide you, I'm talking about PV by the way, for PvP, shining will definitely 100% better. For well, will provide you 3 sheet AP, and 3 sheet AP will provide you 15 monster AP, because of the new system. Will after 310 AP, 1 sheet AP will provide you directly 5 additional monster AP. So 3 sheet AP, let's say that you get 1 more cap. In best scenario, I'm talking about best scenario. One cap is giving you 3 AP, 3 plus 3 is 6 AP, and you're getting additional 15 AP. So which is equal to 20-ish AP at all. You're getting from the well side compared to this one. But this one is giving you 16 AP instead of 8. So they're like 8 AP difference. So at the end of the day, 10 to 12 AP difference in Wellsard at all. But 5% attack speed is 10 times, 20 times, 50 times better than 10 AP in any condition. So because of that, shining in any condition when you start to become like 350 AP or more will be a lot better. In PvP, it's always better because
Yeah, I feel like this is a big one. This also opens the door to like, okay, if you're gonna make shiny way easier to obtain, why don't you like, because obviously everyone is gonna get to the point where we notice that we are all gonna go for shiny, so Bell starts to be a dead alchemy stone.
I mean, it's like
PA, why doesn't PA like combine them and make the best alchemy stone there ever is, like a Bell heart plus a shiny, so that you have to actually go to Bell to obtain the Bell heart and get to do the content of the alchemy stones to get the best one.
Yeah, I think they should combine them. Like make it so you can like make it so you have to like get some upgrades to shining that involves consort of this like shining the destruction stone. You have to use a well and a consort destruction for it to like make it even more extreme.
Shining's well
I
hard,
feel like yeah, something like
I mean,
that.
I know it's hard, but like it would be a cool upgrade and also involve the other things that would be useless otherwise. So I think combining stuff is a great thing. Like they're already trying to do that stuff with the offhand, and I think they should do more combining stuff. Also, the man of clothes are getting combined.
Yeah, that way you prevent content inside your game to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here is the idea for our developers. They just said that we will just announce the second part of the Adana. We will talk about that, and the Macrohanan boss will be there. The big, the ancestor, the father or mother, I don't know, the Rokania will be there. Let's just add some kind of special item in it and allow us to, combine only Shining and the Wellsat together. Shining Wellsat, and they will just get the best things. 3 AP Shining will be very nice.
Yeah. I think it's necessary. If they actually revamp the system, it's something they have to do necessarily.
Yeah, because they don't want Wellsart be like I mean consort is like it's already that because like the consort is just completely obsolete because of Wellsart. So they could just learn from that mistake and then do like add them into the
proper alchemy stone, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's move on to another big one. Although I think this one was on everyone's bingo cards. I don't know if Hugh had it on his bingo card. I know India definitely had it.
By the way, we got the bingo.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, we're up big. You're up big, man. Okay. Sovereign sub-weapon implemented into the game, and it will be coming. Let me see it. Hold up. 6th of August. It's when Sovereign sub-weapon is gonna be coming, and if I'm not mistaken, it will be coming the same day that they intend to release the new region. We will go through it that. But for now, Sovereign sub-weapon added into the game the 6th of August. There's gonna be 3 ways to obtaining it. The first one being 2 pen black stars of-hand black stars, and the crystal, this gem, the 20k Kafras gem. I bet in all the
Gem of
servers the
Twilight.
Kafras price. Yeah, Gem of Twilight. All the Kafras prices have gone bananas up
Yeah.
crazy.
For 2 million is crazy stuff.
I think it's all the servers are seeing this. The second method being a pen black star offhand, a Kutum C20, and a Nuver C20. And the third way to obtain it is the Gem of Twilight, a pen black star offhand, and also a new introduced item, which I don't know the precise name, but it's gonna be like a flame sort of system that with 1k, 1,000 of those PTs, you're gonna be able to craft that crystal, and you're gonna be able to swap it into the new Sovereign sub-weapon. I mean,
It will be-
we expected this to drop, but it's gonna be big. I think we all were super enthusiastic about getting the last Sovereign
suggestion
sub-weapon.
is to people. Just ignore the method number 3 because we do not know how often we will be able to drop the new items. The only thing we know, 100 of them will just directly come from the the main quest line of the Adana, the new land, and we will be able to drop it from the zones, the grind zones in the Adana, the new endgame spots, and also we will be able to get it from the special bosses in the Adana. So it will probably be a little bit long journey for people, but we will just talk about that, and I was just I want to just open the topic, and they will share the maximum stats of both weapon, Nova and Kutum. I mean Black Star, of course. So my suggestion to everyone: stop what you do right now and focus on your sub-weapon. When this sub-weapon update just arrived, if you have a plan to go for your main Sovereign or Awakening Sovereign, stop it. Cut. Spend all money for your sub-weapon, because this will provide you even more and more gear than anything in the game. You will spend let's say the 250 billion worth of item to this one, or maybe a little bit more or less or something. It's not important. You will get lots of things. You will get the pen black star efficiency from passive with an over AP. This will directly give you additional 20 more AP in your PV setup. And also, there is nothing better than this game. This will be the best in slots efficient item. And my suggestion is to everyone, this will be your first Sovereign weapon option to anyone.
Yep.
We do not know if we can. Yeah, we do not know if we can just put reforged stones in it. Probably we will be able to put Sovereign.
Names, so I would guess so. Yeah, because I was thinking, because I was expecting it to be tied to the new region. And then maybe they're gonna call it something else. Maybe they're not gonna have Reforged Stone and something different. But since it's also a Sovereign, it will probably have Sovereign Reforged Stones.
And also, I beg for PA, please listen to this, because I think everyone is gonna agree to this. Please let us change the cups for the Sovereign weapons depending on the content that we want to do. Some PvP we want ones, some
Reforged
PvE
stones.
we need another ones.
Definitely
Reforged ones.
All in one.
Yes, please. Maybe put it on the how's it called? The all-in-one preset.
Yeah, I think just combine it into all in one, because it deserves to be there.
I think it's needed, because those stats actually matter.
No need to just bother themselves to create a new type of thing. Just we have already crystal setup, isn't it? Here.
Yeah.
There's some kind of another tab, create, crystal tab, reforged stone tab. When I just click the reforged stone tab, I will see it. If I use Sovereign, the slot number 1 will be activated, and 5 of them will be activate, and the second one will be Awakening, the third one will be sub-weapon. Whenever I need to, for example, some classes, they definitely need crit rate. Without crit rate, they feel bad. They're losing lots of efficiency in offensive stats. But At some classes, you don't need them. Maybe he wants to go DR, maybe he wants to go down attack, you have to always just break the stones to change the crystal or the reforged stone. Like, it's just, what the, you know, what is this? This is the same shit. Like 5 years ago, we had the crystals. We were just putting the crystals on the socket of the items. The same thing. Like 5 years ago, you bring this thing, amazing crystal of, you know, crystal presetting. Thank you. But you just implement another thing, but same shit, different color. Like,
no sense. It makes no sense. Whenever the sub weapon caps appeared and it worked like that, the already existing crystal system was implemented, and to me was like, why? Why are we going back? Like, we were just walking backwards. We weren't supposed to be done with this sort of stuff. I don't know. It felt odd. But yeah. Any more thoughts on the sovereign sub weapon, guys? How are the methods are gonna be looking? Do you guys there's gonna be one preferred method or maybe two?
which one you use, guys? Yeah, I will go for number 1.
Same.
I'm going number 2.
for- yeah, same. Number 2. I already have.
Wait, so number 1 is the double black star, right? And
Yes.
number 2 is
Double
the,
black star and the gem of Twilight. Yeah.
Yeah, and the number 2 is the double C20,
The
right?
double C20.
Yeah, I will go method 1.
Okay.
Same. I already have everything ready.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
have everything ready, but like it's a very like future invest. But I will, while going for that black star, I will push a stack over over what you can with the things in preparation for like a Novor deck weapon stack.
Yeah.
And that's because when you the only like it's when you're pushing for that, you need a bigger stack than it's like insane
Most
safe.
definitely.
So I'm gonna like invest into the future by doing that.
What
Even though
about
it
you?
might cost me more right now to do that than the second option. Not sure of exactly because it will depend on the Kefra stuff. But I also don't have an over at all. So
We'll see. What about you, Hugh? Are you ready for the sovereign sub weapon? Do you have all that is required? What method are you gonna be using to craft yours?
I'm actually worried about it because do you guys have enough crowns?
Crons? I'm
Yeah.
saving up.
I will not enhance it early on because I have other things the way like my life gear is still not done that I'm gonna. So I'm gonna get mine a bit later, I think.
I've saved up. In my case, I've saved up quite a bit because I was talking to Quentia. He was doing some gear advice, and I said, "Man, this is my gear. I think I should just save everything up for the sub weapon."
Yeah.
And that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. So I don't think making offhand weapon is a big problem for veteran players, right? But enhancing is a problem. So and after that we have to enhance armor too. So I'm worried about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good content for a while.
Yep.
I like it.
That's one topic that I want to talk because I think everyone here is veteran players. This ball actually gave me some sort of anxiety. Like
I
the
felt
amount
very
of
overwhelmed.
gear
Yeah.
that we're gonna be getting in no time. It's like
Yeah.
4 slots of gear with the amount of crowns that requires, and also on top of that, the sovereign sub weapon. Like it just like I immediately while I was watching the ball, I typed Gwendia and I was saying, "Bro, like I'm feeling anxious. Like it gave me stress. Like I was feeling bad." Do you guys share the same feeling? Like maybe they could have
you
hit a little bit on the armors and just released the sovereign sub weapon on this summer and maybe waited for Calvin Ball for the armors. What do you guys feel like?
I feel like I don't like that they are doing another raw time gate thing with the armors, like they have with the deck carousels. Besides that, I think it's really good that we have like more things to chase, because I think that's what this game is like. A very big part of this game is like just chasing hard upgrades. It would be nice if they mattered a bit more, which they seem to be addressing with the AP changes list. But yeah, I mean, it's like a little bit of anxiousness maybe, but I think that's good also because that gives you more hype for the game as well. But yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
it's like,
Yeah.
the reason, or like a big reason of why I choose to play this game over another MMO at the times when I'm playing it is because it's like sandboxy. You can like bang shit out with effort, and you're not tied to the like weekly or daily time gates as a seasonal. Like most other MMOs are like seasonal theme park stuff, you know, like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, things like that. And it's very common to have time gates to make that thing work. And it's fine in that game, but I don't think time gates like that fits in video at all. And I wish they would stop because, like, I mean, the first thing was like bartering, I guess, because dailies always has been like pretty weak. Like you had some like weird dough processing, like you have the Imperials. It's all like low impact stuff. It's not like the end of the world if you miss out on that. But if you are going for deck carousels and you like you forget to do your rifts for a while, then you like fall behind, and there's no way to catch up on that with effort. So
But
I
at
don't
the end
like
of the
things like
day,
that.
but at the end of the day, people, I think on decks, like they had enough time in order to achieve them whenever they
Yeah, but
mattered.
that's if you're
which is
preparing
now.
for it. Like I get the
But at
reason
the
why
beginning, yeah, I feel you're like it feels bad to not be
it's
able
like
to
so
get
like
it right.
sometimes it's not an issue, but sometimes it is. And if it's not an issue, it's irrelevant. Why is it there? And when it is an issue, it's like what the fuck. So I think there should be something like, I get that they don't want to have it be purely with crons, because they don't want people to, when they release new content, the veterans that are over prepared, that have been on the cap for a long time, to just be able to smack out everything at once. I don't think that's a good idea, and that's why they are doing this, I'm guessing. But what I think they should do is they should effort gate it. You know how like treasures you can't buy at all. You have to go grind them. Just add some part of the upgrades that you have to go grind for, but don't make it some time gated bullshit on a boss or a like the Dark Rift. Just make it in specific grind zones that
Yeah.
are
That's not a bad
end game
idea,
grind
yeah.
zones. You can add like the flames, for example. The flames, while they are sellable on the marketplace, when they were released for the armor upgrades, they were too low cap on the marketplace, so they wouldn't sell. So you had to go grind it out anyway yourself, and I think that's the perfect.
I feel like they could
effort.
do it with the new pity sort of crystal that
Yeah,
they
so
added.
it is
It
with the
could be
soft
to
sovereign.
that to craft the material to enhance and all that. It could be a good thing to do.
Yeah, because like the sovereign, like the flame thingies, that's a good idea, and like the dawn stones for the idea of those stones are good. It's just the way you get them is dog shit.
It could be a little bit frustrating for some of the players that, yeah, I get your point. But I wanna, Aidex, you were gonna talk about your feelings about this. So
Yeah, I
can
was like
go.
extremely. As soon as they spoke about the armors, I was like extremely overwhelmed because I only have one TED piece, and I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
I need to get my other pieces to TED because
Yes.
I saved up money for it because I initially wanted to buy them already, but now they released the revamp
They're
of the
gone.
Alchemy Stone
Yep.
and the Sovereign off, and I'm like, oh no, what do I
Yes.
spend my money on? And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna do it in the way they're gonna release it. So I'll do the offhand first, probably, then the Alchemy Stone, and then I'll slowly work on my armors.
Yeah,
But I really want
makes
that
sense.
Shining Stone before I even touch the armors.
Yeah,
really.
it must feel so nice. Like imagine that attack speed to kill mobs
Yeah,
faster.
for Dosa just specifically, it's gonna
Yeah,
be such a
I feel
massive
you.
change.
I feel you on the DOSA part. And also we have, I don't know, I mean, India having 2 obliterating already. He's just gonna, not day 1, but in 2 weeks, he's gonna get 2 locked new armors. How did
No,
you
I
feel?
have
Did
I have
you
one.
feel stressed? You were just, oh, I'm gonna get locked day 1, it's fine.
No, I have just shoes. My shoes is pen.
I thought
But
you had
that's
2.
no, I don't have 2. My shoes is
Just the shoes. Okay.
And first they will release armor, isn't it? We will not just see the other ones, if I'm not wrong. Are they gonna just publish all the pieces? I believe they will just publish only the armor first.
No, it's the entire armor, the entire set.
I said they
do all
won.
at once, but
The
I'm
entire
not sure.
set. Okay, then it's okay. I have Oct shoes.
Which is honestly, like, if we look at the stats of the defense gear, I think maybe we can talk about this. I think it's the way to go. You first transform your shoes because you ideally want to combine as fast as possible the evasion and DR. Because yes, the new armors combine DR and evasion. So ideally, you want to go first for the shoes that give the most stats, and then you would go for the gloves, and then probably the chest, and finally the helmet. I feel like that's gonna be the way that people do it.
People just a little bit confused about the ways of to craft this Sovereign. Let me just clear it again because they talked about this thing in chat.
Sure.
People non-stop asking me. Here is the thing: we have 3 methods It's also good for YouTube fellas. The method number 1 is the most logical one, but you may not be able to do that right now. 2 black stars, pen. 2 sub weapon black stars, pen, and 1 gem of twilight, which is equal to 20k kafras. I'm repeating it again. Method number 1, 2 pen black stars and 20k kafras. That's the method number 1, the most simple one. The method number 2 is 1 pen black star, 1 pen kutum, kafras level 20, 1 pen nowhere, kafras level 20. This is the method number 2. So these two are simple and the most logical one to go for it. And the method number 3, that part is being a little bit confusion for people. And I'm suggesting this, just don't mind these methods. You don't need to understand it. Pen black star, gem of twilight, which is the same thing in the method number 1, is equal to 20k kafras directly. And the new item, I don't know the new item's name, gem of something. Who cares? This is some kind of flame. Oh, it's not flame, but this is a new item that you can craft it with a 1000 new pity. This new pity, you can get it in the Adana. How you can get it? From the main quest line, you can get 100 of them. And the remaining 900 of them you can get from the grind zones. And also you can get from the new bosses in the Adana. We will talk about them. Like in a few minutes, we will start to talk about them. These are the methods. If you have to decide which one is the most convenient one, number 1 or number 2. Number 3, just ignore it. But the day when we just get them, if you can, you should be ready to convert your sub weapon into sovereign. Big upgrade. Big upgrade. I think it's clear. If people still think that it's not clear, I'm sorry, I cannot help you.
Nah, but I think for me, the first one is gonna be probably like the less expensive. So if you have two black stars sitting on your inventory, you probably go for that one. The convenience one, because most of us is gonna have like a pen kutum, a pen C19 Nuver. Well, maybe not C19, right? But we're gonna have pen Nuver, pen kutum, pen black star. You can just go that for the convenience part of it, but I think money-wise it's gonna be a little bit worse. And then the third is just the traditional flame grind, pretty much. Because we don't know how hard it's gonna be to get those small pieces. But yeah, I think that's pretty much for the sovereign sub weapon. I want to speed up a couple more topics because I want to close on Arkyve on one specific thing. So I'm gonna just say that the Dyne, Arduanat, and Doom combination in one. They teased us last ball with it. I actually thought it was like a prank and they didn't gonna make it. But holy, it felt nice. Let's hope that it doesn't break the game and it works as intended. But yeah, I don't know if they're gonna merge all the horses into one. That they said that it's gonna have the best stats. How is it gonna be precisely? Does anybody know?
It's gonna be a new separate horse basically, with all the top stats from the other horses.
Okay.
And
I
you get
mean,
it for free if you already have Crocodile, basically.
yeah, this is cool. Like,
This is cool. Yeah, I like grinding shit into even more extreme shit. This is more of that.
it's like literally they're giving you away a Jeep. You can just go through every terrain and you won't care at all. So yeah, it's a W. And they made it. I'm running up a little bit because Arkyve is gonna have to leave in no time, and I want to hear his specific take on the formulas thingy because I know he's very well known into those areas. They said that they are gonna make able to swap instantly to the tag character, which is nice.
It's a big W.
Quality of life change.
Yeah.
No loading frame. W. And now I want to open up this sort of big area, which is they're gonna completely redefine and revamp the systems of damage in this game, and they're gonna do it in 4 sort of ways. First one, they're gonna sort of unify the evasion accuracy relationship in all the classes. So they are gonna transform accuracy rates into 1% being 4 flat accuracy. Same for the evasion, if I believe. They're gonna remove all the accuracy rates from the skills and they are gonna implement plus 18, I think flat. I don't know if it's flat or percentage. It's flat. Okay. Flat into the passives. And they are also gonna rework a little bit the how it's operated, the super armor damage reduction, instead of being multiplicative. Like, we don't know, we don't have the precise formulas on how this worked
Okay.
before. They are gonna do the SA damage reduction rate being additive, so it feels less impactful, but it's not gonna feel super different from what we have now. Then they also talked about onto separating the damage from species for PvE and be more specific on the PvP side of things, so that they will remove the human damage, not remove it, but transform it into only be applied into human human monsters, and then character damage for PvP. So separating those two concepts. And they also talked about, which we've talked about, that one AP is gonna be equivalent to 5 AP. There's a whole lot of thing on this, and I want to hear what Arkyve has to say about this. Then I'll let the others. But since he's the one that first needs to leave, you can take it from here, Arkyve.
So as far as stats like all the conversion that they're going to do to accuracy and evasion, as far as I can tell, it's not going to change much from now, because the conversion rate is going to be the same as it is now. So 4-to-1, going from percentages to flat stat, from flat stat to percentage. So depending on how they tweak accuracy across the classes and hopefully evasion, it shouldn't change much in terms of stats trade-off.
Okay.
But we'll have to see how that adapts with how that applies with all the new gear. As for species damage, well, I am skeptical about the change, because I, for one, am one who really enjoys grinding spots like Trolls, Jade Starlight. I enjoy pushing the spots to the limit, getting 3.5 billions an hour, because I really go full on the gas pedal, and I really like to min max on those spots.
Yeah, I've seen you with
And
how is it called? The armor that gives you the
the Xerath armor.
Yeah, it might hurt the cool options you have for capped spots change, so that I don't really like either.
But yeah,
So
go
yeah,
on, Arkyve.
for those spots, species damage not going past the cap is gonna hurt it a lot. Like for Trolls, we're gonna deal like half the damage that we can deal now. And I don't really like it, because as an endgame player, if all those spots are going to be cut off from my list of viable sources of income, I'm going to be, granted they don't completely change the AP caps, of course, I'm going to be recluded to like 3 or 4 spots in the game. And
But correct me if I'm wrong. Have they stated that damage to species now doesn't go past the
Yeah,
cap
it
of
gets
the AP?
reduced by the cap as well. That's what they are planning to do.
Oh, that's bad.
So I think the other thing where like the caps they have done, it's like good that they are doing. So like you have spot progression, because like a big problem that we had in the past was like everyone was at Star's End, because you would get there pretty early on and you get more gear and it wouldn't change anything being better. But to do like right now, like you can Trolls is good, and then you get better gear, you can go to other spots that are better. But the cool thing now is like can like kind of graduate from it, but you can also like change your setup and make the old spots be better if you go hard into species damage. So the species damage part of that thing I don't like, but the rest of it is good.
Arkyve, do you wanna end your point so that we free you and then we can go to Hugh?
yeah, like as for that, I'll have to see how they adapt the AP caps. As for human damage and player damage, nothing should change compared to what we have now. It should just shed some clarity on the stat builds in terms of tooltips and seeing stats on Garmot. People are not gonna get confused between how species damage works in PvE and PvP. Other than that, I think it's good changes overall. We'll just have to see how they adapt the whole species damage and PvE caps thing. It might be a bit might reduce a bit of options, but for PvP everything should be fine statistically wise.
Okay. Well, thank you as always for joining. For sure,
Thanks.
whenever the new stuff gets released, you will for sure be invited. because
yeah.
your point of view on how you calculate stuff and everything is always super interesting to hear. So thank you as always
No problem, anytime.
for joining. And yeah, we will keep in contact.
And enjoy, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
You
See you.
Now he also said that he will have to leave soon. So do you want to comment anything on the redefining damage formulas and calculation, Hugh?
Not really, not really. But I think it's really interesting. Just it hopes it goes better. That's
Okay.
all. And
Can I
what's
before? Sorry.
Yeah.
Go on. You were gonna say something.
Oh no, it's okay.
Okay, I wanted to do one question before you leave. Which is obviously everyone saw your stream. You were there in that room. From the audience perspective in that room, which from all the changes of the ball had the biggest reaction?
Do you want to actually hear something interesting?
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, I didn't know about it, but after Heidel, there was a Korean streamer meeting. I went there, and Korean streamer told me they were they said there was a PA seat back of a player seat, PA table, and there was a PA employee seated there. And whenever Wansu or Jessa, the other J, YJ, say something, they clap first and make a sound first to make the audience react. Audience didn't
Okay.
react a lot actually, but
Okay.
because of those PA employees, they reacted something.
Okay.
So I couldn't really feel the big reaction from players on the
Okay.
high level.
Because that's something I don't know if it was for specifically that crowd, because I don't know if they were I don't know, normal players, or I don't know what kind of people were in the audience. But not gonna lie, I was scared to say this. I didn't see that big of reaction from the audience whenever they were saying all this stuff. And you just confirmed me that. Do you wanna talk about it? Do you have any special feeling about it? What are your thoughts on this?
This audience are just normal video players, but you know,
Okay.
nothing special. I think.
Okay.
Just, yeah.
Honestly, because I don't think the reaction on that audience actually
Reaction
reflected
good.
the entire community's reaction. Because for example, in my case, I actually was cheering up with my guildmates in Discord whenever the Alchemy Stone revamp came out, or whenever the Sovereign, or whenever they said the resistances were gone, or whenever all these little things, I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere, but I didn't see it on the audience. So that was
That's true.
something I was very curious from it. But yeah, since you have to leave, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
I know this was sort of in a rush. We normally try to not make the podcast as long, but since today is a big one, I guess it got out a little bit of hands and we jabbed a little bit too much. But yeah, if in any time you're now on the server, I post the topics that we're gonna be talking about in the podcast. If you ever feel like coming and japping, always having someone as important as you are in the KR community wanna come by and talk about something, you're more than welcome to do so. So very, very appreciated for you to be here, and yeah, to let us know your opinions on all these contents.
Okay, thank you.
You-
Thank you. It was fun.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can
Okay,
see you in
bye.
the next podcast.
I'll try.
Thank you, Hugh.
Thank you.
So, Maids and Aidex, what do you guys think about these changes? Are you guys are frightening?
Yeah.
Frightened by these things?
I'll let Mazes go first.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. I was gonna let you go first.
No, you go first.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
no.
I can talk to you from the perspective of a player who was very much burnt out and kind of stopped playing because the game got too stale for me for a while. And these things brought me back just because, I know not much is supposed to change on paper, but I think a lot will actually change with the class groupings and the simplifications and some of the gear also. Remember, they're giving a Garmouth heart, and that's going to give us extra 50 accuracy, which is next week, I think. Things like this is going to shake things up a little bit. It's going to change the meta a little bit. It's going to simplify things. It'll be easier to make builds. but not too easy, hopefully. So I'm excited. Of course, I'm also scared that they're gonna break like some PvP or PvE, but it's already broken, so like it'll just be broken in a different way, and even that is kind of like, okay, it's something new.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my perspective.
Aidex?
Maze said a lot what I wanted to say, but
Okay.
when they introduced the extra 5 AP for every AP you have beyond 310, it gave me a little bit of the renowned score vibe. I'm a little bit afraid of this. I also have the feeling that wants to push people towards the new zone with this new change. So more people are in the new zone, so they fight each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
bit
like we go back into the Calpheon days where everyone is on one spot with the high gear.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, but it might be that for a while. But the foundation of what they are AP, I think, is a very good idea because it makes you get way more for your gear. So whenever they add more, more Deca or Elvia reworks or stuff like that, because like now we will be able to reach. It will be easier to distinguish different tiers of AP. And right now, with the old numbers on the rest of the world, might be so behind that it's like going to be irrelevant compared to Edonia for a while. So maybe we will have some like Stars and Gulag again for a while. But
good old days.
Hopefully, in the future, it will create more variations because I think in the current state, it's not too bad in that regard. There are the things like a Pig Cave and DSR, they're really good, but you need certain amount of gear for it to be good to be there. Just having more things, like even more steps to that, because it's fun when you come in as a new player and you progress like, oh yeah, now I'm strong enough to go to this. If you have more than 1 or 2 instances of that, I think it's very good.
I agree on that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
just
No,
gonna
go,
say
go.
that. In the sense of like upgrading your deck Karazat, it's also gonna feel a lot better because you get that 1 AP and then the extra 5 AP.
It's not you spend 500 billion for 1 AP and that will make you get 40 more trash per hour at this or it's like might mean more now.
I do think that we're hitting the mark on what the real W of this is, which gear progression for quite a while has meant, okay, I get 1 top and I get +1. Now that +1 is gonna mean more things, and I think that that's gonna make more people actually willing to make those steps.
Yeah, because the
it's
current
rewarding for the progression inside the game, and it's gonna incentivize it.
Yeah, I like that we have like pages for the gear now instead of 5, so it's more spread out in that regard. But the impact of the gear is just too small right now. Like you pay a ton of money and then you get very little in return.
Like,
so it's great to see them actually addressing that.
I'm gonna use this argument because, for example, okay, I'm playing a boosted class. I'm playing Awakening Sage. I'm going towards Sikia and I'm pulling the same numbers as Gwendia, who is super geared way more than me. Sure, that has to do with balance, but with this, because of him having that gear, he's gonna get way more. I mean, maybe not on Orsikia, right? Because it's a capped spot. But he's gonna be able to notice the advantage that he really does have over me.
Yeah.
Which I feel like it's a W, right, Gwendia?
Yeah, it should be. Like, you should feel like the gear is more than just cool numbers on a sheet.
What do you think?
Yeah, so overall, I want to start from this part, the instant swap character, because it's a huge part of the stat changes.
Okay.
That's why I'm afraid of the, this ball. This is the part where it starts. This is the part where it starts, because the entire root of the game, everything will change. Everything that will change, meta will change, sports will change, characters' behaviors will change. By the way, tomorrow on a global lab, we will start to see that what they are actually planning about the classes. Class balance and these things, they will slowly start to add everything to the game. And it will start from the tomorrow's global lab, probably next 3-4 weeks, we will see big patches. I suggest anyone to just catch everything on live or on YouTube. Watch the content creators to not miss any changes. Let's start from the instant swap to character tag thing. This is one of the other, it's for me the same like Alchemy Stone level of the update. They just said it's some kind of experimental, but imagine that you're grinding with a character, tag character, but the other character is ready to do PvP. You inertia, bam, you just change your character into PvP. It will be faster than all-in-one, and it's big W, very big, very, very nice. And it will be nice to see this, how they will implement. Hopefully they've not cancel it. I'm kind of afraid they may cancel it. The other changes, the accuracy evasion, they said the 1% 4 thing. I just don't want to give the details. You already mentioned that thing. The only part that I just didn't understand that the extra damage to species thing, because they said it, the extra damage to species. Let me just explain. Human and comma demi-human and what was the other one?
It's animal. It's
Animal,
human. It's demi-human, and it's.
We do not have
I'm
proper
missing one.
resource for the
We don't
you know.
have-
There's four. There's four basically.
Now it will be 5. The human will be humanoid, and the characters will be PP damage purely. And if you have any crystals or any item with the human damage specific, if it is just like, they will also add another option in it, humanoid damage and the character damage. So your items will not devalue after these update. Just don't worry about that. But the part that they said that it will not just pass the AP cap, so they will not just affect the AP caps. And so what they will actually be, if they not just pass the AP cap, what we will use them for, just instead remove them completely and give us directly AP, same value of the AP of lifestones or something like that, we can directly go for them. I still didn't understand what is the point of cap thing.
I mean,
don't know.
their whole point of species damage is that it's not affected by the cap that AP is. Because if it's just AP, then it's just like
Normal
partial AP. It doesn't make sense to have it there.
There's
Does that
two
mean
things.
they like dramatically increase the requirements for grind spots if they do that?
Yeah, like the point of this is that they want to have you at a certain point of gear. You should be fine in this spot, and you should not be able to scratch spots above you. Like they want to make it more distinct. They want to force people to not clump up in one grind spot. That's what I'm like. The idea behind this feels like.
For me, there's 2 key points on this conversation. First one being how this is. They mentioned they really want to make that the people without the gear required for a spot feels worse about going into those zones, so they feel like they have to go to lower spots. And on the contrary, people that are way over what the spot feels like, they will feel the urge to move to somewhere because they're not gonna get as rewarded as if they were in some other spot. I feel like that's what they defended their point and their argument on that, which always is gonna what the Arkyve said. If I am a sort of guy that loves going into Quinhill, now I do not have any rewarding for making my gear specifically for that spot and trying to optimize it, and I enjoy that content, and you're gonna restrict me to those 4 end game Adana spots, and that's just not gonna feel good.
Yeah.
And the
I feel
second
like if
one,
they leave a species part, they could achieve both. Like keeping that and also.
and the second point is that special damage is now gonna be the only way to go past the caps, if I'm not mistaken, right? Back
Yeah.
attack, down attack, and
Yeah.
critical hit. So maybe that's the only way we have in the game to go through the caps. Yeah.
They're trying to simplify things, I understand, but if you're trying to simplify things, just remove the species AP, don't make confusion, and keep game balance in that sense. I don't know. The resist removal things, it was some kind of mandatory thing, but why we are just, having RNG thing in it. There was some kind of other, recommendation from or advice from the players to keep the resists, and also, but they just prefer to just remove resist from the PvP, and they will just give other buffs to the skills or some other things. For example, some e-buffs in the game or some passives in the game. In some different classes, they have a resist or resist ignore. Instead of them, they said that they will just give something different. They didn't share details, its whole thing, but for the grabs that they mentioned, for the range grabs, we have some kind of 5 or 6 classes that has range grab. They will be slowed down by the animations or something.
Needed.
It is needed. Melee grabs, they said we will also do something melee grabs, but they didn't share details again. Yeah. Another thing, I'm just passing this part. I'm also showing it on the screen. They just said after this point they will start to consider classes in 3 different categories. Defense, defensive classes, offensive classes, and the range classes. That's how they will just say, like DPS, defensive, DPS, tank, and the range. That's like maybe involved in some other MMORPGs. While they buffing classes or nerfing classes, they said that they will stay around this thing. There's some kind of list in this one. It's completely Korean, but I think I've just no matter. I'll just snap. We will see them later. Like all the Q block classes, some Sakdurak, for example, they'll be defensive classes. For example, Awakened Ranger will be considered as a DPS class, but Sack Ranger will be considered as a range class. So while they just buffing them or nerfing them, they will do it in that way. Nobody knows how they will define them, how they will just buff them or nerf them. These are the general things that they mentioned. And the another thing, mouse movement removal. The mouse movement removal was
big topic.
Yeah, kind of big W. Like some people are just being a little bit afraid, but I know why they're afraid. But it's same scenario, same shit, different color with the Awakened Nova thing. Game can handle some things, and you have to just cut it down. You have to stop it.
I was gonna say something real quick about this, because in the ball I panicked a lot about the mouse movement removal, because they didn't specify in what cases they were gonna remove it. And it wasn't until a couple of days that they published this official recap that they specified that the mouse movement removal is exclusively during skills. So whenever I talked about this with all the life skillers, if they removed the entire mouse movement for life skills, their optimal grinding, gathering, hunting would be decreased on 80% minimum. So this is a W2. Only during skills, which is important for everyone to
This is for combat, by the way, and not for you can still move around with your mouse, or you can just select, for example, while you're gathering. It's not related with that. For example, like Succession Berserker, Awakened Berserker, the mouse movement is the main reason why they are OP. One of the main reason. And mouse movement is allowed that you see the guy is just moving this way, but in his monitor, he just use mouse movement and turn to you. You can see it, and instantly he grab you, or he CC, or he does something and there is no human can react that. Impossible to react. And
they can also insta turn their frontal guard too, which you cannot do on ASUS.
Yeah, so I believe the mouse movement removal will also bring more super armors in the classes. That's what I feel, because lots of the classes, they are just changing their super frontals with the mouse. They just, redirect them. And probably they may make them like super armor, or I don't know what do you guys have any clue what they will do? They said nothing, but they said lots of things.
Yeah.
Another thing.
That's also one of the things for the ball. They set a lot of stuff in a superficial way with a lot of dates, but we need to see specifically how they do it, because again, it could be very good or very bad.
Yeah, tomorrow is the start for that.
Tomorrow is the start of everything.
Yeah. This thing, like after 310 AP for the gear, the sense of gear progression, 300 every sheet AP will give you 5 monster AP. So we did some kind of the calculation for that. Normally right now in an in-game situation is 1.2k, isn't it? The 1.2, 220 or something like that is the max.
If you're above 1.250, 1.3k is not obtainable in any way right now. So maybe with this we can
after this one, probably the max AP will be, if they not change the basics, 17k, 18k or something like that. But it depends of your class, depends of the weapons thing. But we'll see how it will affect, and it's good. It's really good. Like Philip just said, enhancing a 1-level Karazat from node to DAX, you're spending billions, like 300 billion for 1 sheet AP, and you're gaining nothing, which is big W, this one. Because they mentioned, I will also show this part, this monster zones, the lines, the top and bottom lines will just define significantly with the bold lines. What does that mean? For example, right now, you guys maybe show it, you guys maybe see it, so he grinded at the Orzekia, he got the maximum threshold with his Awakening Witch, the meta class. With his 400, maybe 10, I'm just saying, 410 DP, impossible for other classes, and 330 AP, impossible for other classes. So they just make the caps like significant until you touch that point. Even if you play meta class, probably, that's what I understand, you will not be able to grind there efficiently in that spot. That's
it's like taking of work of their PvE balancing doing this.
Also, and they are the efficiency on the monster zones will be redesigned around AP throughout all the contents, and to meet both the AP and DP requirements. So.
For the dungeons, what attracts the solo bosses or party bosses, if you do not have the enough, right now AP is the limit. if you do not have 350, for example, you can't do Calamity 10 bosses, isn't it? But after then this one, if you do not have enough DP, you will not be able to just kill the Calamity 10 bosses too. So people were just, tricking the system with the Nova, isn't it? The people, they were just killing the Calamity 10 bosses, even if they kill it in 10 minutes. They don't care. They were just going with the Nova. But now if you use Nova, or if you use the other things, your DP will not increase. So you will need gear. All the plebs, all the casuals, they cried about this one. But this is an MMORPG, I'll be honest with you. And I'm very happy about for it. It's not because I'm veteran. I'm a content creator, and big portion of the game, they were crying about, what is the reason of I'm gearing up? Most of the contents are capped. They're talking about the, capped PvP and Node Wars and some other things. I'm just checking the grind zones, like 330 AP and 360 AP at Dark Circuit Street, only a few thousand threshold more. It's just 5%. But I'm spending 8 trillions of silver to do that. Now, whatever you just put in your character, the every value, you will see it increase some kind of efficiency. And I'm very happy about this patch.
I'm hoping this eventually spreads towards the live gear as well, because
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
like they are clearly there with the idea of everything. It's just now it still costs quite a bit, but too easy to reach 3K in the first place, and then also the reward you get from having 3K compared to like 2K, which is super easy to get, is very small at the moment.
Let's hope that they actually address that.
But
properly.
considering what they have done, I do have hope of them doing that. It's just like a matter of when is that going to happen? It's going to be a year or longer, or
maybe
shorter.
it on Calfinball. I think it could very well be on Calfinball.
I mean, it's possible to be addressed in the next ball for sure.
Okay. Anything you guys want to add into all what we've talked, Aidex, Maces, before we move on to Adana?
Summon damage.
We forgot about that
right.
one.
I forgot about that. That's they're gonna make that basically the same as every other damage now, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Which
And
is scary. Which is very scary. Not gonna lie. There's a lot
Let's go.
There's
I
a
like it
lot of
because-
classes. There's a lot of classes and damage.
So if my bananas become better, I will be happy.
Guys,
it's-
Awakening Sage has a shit ton of summon damage. If that's gonna be true damage, my class is gonna get guttered. Like
Yeah.
the game cannot handle if Sage gets through all this. I'm just preventing everyone for
Yeah,
this.
hope nerfs coming afterwards will not be
Yeah.
execution.
First do all this and then execute the classes that needed. I
Yeah.
agree. Because this can get out of hands very
That's a
quickly.
really interesting change in overall for a lot of classes.
Ron, I want to repeat, the second they said at nighttime summon damage was strongest, like
It's one of the
Oh.
biggest joke ever, bro.
it was like I think I was on my Discord guildy chat and we were did anybody know this? We started laughing so badly that
Yep.
we couldn't hear what was coming up.
Let me
next.
just
It was
explain
just
it for the
kind of-
YouTube fellas or the
Crazy.
casuals. Normally, your pets or independent damages, for example, the satellite things of the Sage or Witch's pet or Nova's pet, or these all are considered as monster in codes. And in nighttime, you guys see that monsters will attack you, stronger at 22 o'clock or 10 p.m. In game, of course. Your damage, your pet's damage also increase, significantly in nighttime, and nobody knows that. What the heck is that? What type of coding is that?
It is
banana coding, man.
I'm also kind of curious that if the summons are going to stack with all the stats you have, if you use attack and cast speed, will they also move faster or not?
I don't think so.
I think it's just gonna be.
I'm guessing that they will not scale with speed because that would probably be hard to do for them, which is a bit unfortunate because that just means.
I mean,
it depends. Like, it will make attack speed slightly less value on things that have pets on their own, but it won't matter for summon things. For example, like the Musa bananas from the Awakening skills, they are cast based on your the skill itself. So then it will have it will be no different. But for the rock dude for a witch, that attacks on its own as well, I think. So that will have slightly less value with the cast speed.
Yeah, it was just something I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I mean, finally, I will feel like I'm not griefing myself in Gyfin. Like, since a lot of damage on Sage is common damage, my class is gonna feel nice in Gyfin. At last, I don't completely dominate the entirety of the rest of the game, but Gyfin, that's the only place where I allowed you to be better than me.
I did this test at awake at Tungrat ruins. Tungrat ruins is also buff-wise of thing, and wizard, awakened wizard, maybe 30-40% of the class coming from the pet damage. Bro, I just went to Tungrat ruins with the I'm just decreasing my AP and testing classes dependency spot. It was like 310. With 310, with maxed out, min-maxed everything, you should be able to grind a Tungrat safely and, kinda easy. Bro, I was just feeling like hitting stones, literally. I just increased my AP to 360, then I start to feel like someone 310 AP. That pet damage issue is just very big problem on the game, and finally we will just, get rid of this shit. Thanks God.
Yeah,
Very good to see.
because it just makes it's so weird as well when it's like baked in your skills, because like if you have a pet doing its own thing, if that's pet damage, that can make sense. But for like wizard, that you have like the fire dude doing the fire skill with you, and it counts as the fire dude's damage instead of you. It's like, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Those in particular is a really weird class when it comes to summons, because the summons do both crit damage and back attack damage.
Oh, interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
know.
And down attack too, right?
No, no down attack, but they do back attack and crit damage.
That's so weird, man. Oh, why? Why does these things happen?
Yeah, it's
Let's
really
talk
weird.
about Adana.
Are we forgetting something? I don't think so. I think we can move on to Adana.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go.
Should I cover it?
Onto the Demon Lord. Yeah, Demon Land. Let's go.
Yeah, this is the land of the Hashashin, or the birth of the Hadum thing. The Hashashin. All the nerds in chat, they will know all the things. I'm not nerd. The low nerd thing. This is the node part of the Valencia. There will be two different parts. Adana part 1, we'll just get it this year. Next few weeks or months, I don't know. And there will be three big castles and 5 different locations, as you can see on the screen. This blue place will be safe zone or town, you can say. These 5 locations will have special bosses. It will just depends your AP, as you can see on the screen. Here we go. This place will be the part 2. What are these bosses? And also there will be mobs, of course. The first one is Jordine, the line of the Serendia. He just traveled until this point and he just turned into some kind of monster after a long journey. Rusalka is the mother of the Corsairs, the mummy, the sexiest one ever. The Cartian is the kind of mother of Sorks, I can say. The Enslar is the mother of probably the best one, the mother of the Valkyries. And the Kafras. Kafras is probably after long things, after a long time, turns into some kind of monster. I don't know. If I'm not wrong, Kafras needs to be some kind of scientists. Probably turn into some kind of monster after some certain, bad things happen. We will just fight against them. Only one of them, by the way. Only one of them. And on the other hand, the Adana loots. Let's talk about them. We will get some special items that allow us to upgrade our Dehya artifacts. It will give to our Dehya artifacts additional 6 AP and 250 HP. So whenever you use your double Dehya artifacts, you will gain more HP, more AP. So this, for some certain scenarios, we can maybe sacrifice Kabwa, maybe, or get additional DR and AP. But I'm not sure about that. So for the other things, you may not be able to just recognize as a Korean, but these are the species IP lightstones. So probably they're trying to increase the efficiency of these species AP lightstone sets into some another level. Whenever you need to just deal high damage to the species AP, like demi-human, you will go for species AP. No matter what, they will be better than all-out attack set. I think that's the reason why they do it.
But
we will
then
see.
again, the all attack does lose a little bit of purpose. We will have to see how they actually implement this and how it is.
Yeah, they also
we can
just
speculate, but we can see later. Yep.
They will also just add a new type of monsters, Edanian monsters, and 3 new crystals, Kang Dawn crystals that they will add. They didn't share the stats exactly. We do not know what they will have. And these new Kang Dawn crystals, no idea. Stats again. Say new alchemy items. This is the new Edanian special, elixir, and this will be Edanian against the Dynamom's Harmony, and these will be the new perfumes. That is improved Deep Sea and improved Courage, if I'm not wrong. They said we will just improve them. Maybe we will drop some special items from the mobs, and we will be able to improve our deep sea and the coverage. That's what they said. This is the item that we were talking about, the 1000 thing. Allow you to craft your what was the name of this? The
Gem of Primordial.
Gem of Primordial, yes, for your sub weapon. You guys were wondering that what is the new item? This is the new item. You just get a 1000, 100 from the main quest line guaranteed, 900 from slots and spots and the bosses. By the way, you can kill one boss per week. Let me just remind that. The PvP, is there PvP things that they mentioned in here? Yes, it's it's a little bit after. So for the Adana's defense gear, let me just try to just explain it. Is there something? So this item, as you can see on the screen, you can drop one per week. So you can instantly craft your armor into Adana's armor, according to what we know. One per week from one boss. So you can kill one boss and one attempt. Or so also you can enhance your armor with this one. This one item, 3 sharps and 20 kafras, 1 new blackstone. Adana's blackstone, I don't know the name. And you can only and try your armor once per week. It's quite interesting. Times are just expecting us, but we will see. What they just want to give to the people, here is the thing. If you have tats, you can convert it into base Adana's armor. If you have pen like me, Kappa, you can exchange it with Oct directly. Oct armor directly. This will be quite interesting journey for people because it will be very long time if they just not add additional ways to get them. But right now, 1 per week is just like big bottleneck.
If you,
it feels scary, but I mean, we're onto it and we will have to face it.
But I mean, at least they have some, like, there's some point of doing the ulti. But yeah, I don't know, like having the enhanced stones completely time gated all the way, I think that's very sus. I mean,
maybe they can expand it so that you can obtain one by defeating several bosses. There's gonna be 5 bosses, so
I would
per
like
boss.
if you could you can get them from the bosses that is time gated, but I think they should also be obtainable from just grinding.
We will see. Maybe they work.
I mean, they could always like add the availability of them to grind spot as well later on. I hope they will do that because I don't think it's a problem having them on time gated bosses at all. I just think that it should also be obtainable by grinding.
Yeah, let's see how they do.
Because like if it's an efficient way to just show up to a boss and then leave, and you spend less time for your upgrades that way, that's fine. But I think you should have the option to just grind it out, and the only option to grind it out should not be to go try to do 8 steps at a time with the old bullshit system.
Exactly. So the thing is, Sovereign main and awakening weapon AP increase. Another announcement about this one. By the way, game is giving you free Garmot art. We will also talk about that. The change in pen right now in pen level 6, level 7. When you enhance to pen 6 and 7, you get only 1 AP. But after this update, probably it will be next week. We are expecting that. Level 5, I mean pen 6 and 7, you will start to gain 2 AP for each. Normally level 8 and 9 and 10, it gives you 2. So over 5, whenever you enhance your weapon, you will gain more value. That's why they do it, because until level 10, enhancing your Sovereign is not that much hard. It's just like maybe cost maximum some 70-80 billion or something. Never mind. Also, they just announced a new thing. Whenever you just put Garmot Hard on your weapon, it will give you additional 3 sheet AP. And for your main weapon, normally when you put Garmot Hard to your awakening, it gives you 2 additional crystal slots. On your main weapon, it will give you 50 sheet accuracy on the weapon to just balance the new changes. We do not know what will say. So, from what I understand from at this point, next week, if you have level Oct level awakening and main weapon, you will increase 6 gear by directly pure AP.
Yep.
And also
you get 6 AP.
You get 6 AP in the next week if you have, of course, level 8 at least.
And 50 accuracy, which is the way that they want to address the balance on the accuracy evasion situation that it's gonna happen with the unification of the Adana's defensive armor with the gloves and the shoes.
So there is another thing, the PvP, the kinda free PvP situation. We mentioned about 5 different places. The 5 different places, as you can see on the screen, the bosses. Whoever just killed these bosses, 10 of them, 7 of them will be the highest gear score. 3 of them will be random. Let's say that 100 people just kill Jordan. Max 7 will be chosen, and there are 3 random from the 93 of them. And these 10 people fight against each other. They will do PvP. And then one of them will be chosen. We do not know how the details of the system, how PvP will be. And these, one of them will be chosen, and that guy will be the Adana of that zone. For example, the Jordan's place or the Rusalka's place or these ones. So we will have 5 different Adanas in that place. So these Adanas, they will have some kind of special things. Every week, again, game will choose these people and they'll just fight against each other, and then they will just fight against the last Adanas, and they will just find which one is the next Adanas, or maybe the last one will just maintain his state. And that's how it will probably, like, can I read them? Hold up. Okay, here's the thing. Adanas receive an exclusive crown that allows them to use world chat and server chat without consuming energy or megaphone. A portion of the revenue from the pass purchase to the access to Manus realm for a monster zone in Adanias goes directly to the Adana. So here's the thing. This place will be a crowded place. Probably there will be a small area. Adana can attack you. The lord of that place can attack you, and he will lose no karma. He will have no crystal issue. He will no problem. He can kill you. He can let people, whoever wants to grind. That's the thing for the Adana. And also, if you want to grind there, and if the Adana not allow you to grind there, you have to go into the money realm. When you go to the money realm, you have to pay something. We don't know what you will pay, probably silver. That silver directly goes to the pocket of the Adana. So you're just paying taxes to the Adana to grind there. So becoming Adana will mean something. As an absolute ruler of Adanas will not have a cooldown when switching near the castle, or the face penalties upon that. So you can change server whenever, wherever you want, nearby your territory. They can also bestow an item drop rate blessing. This means if you're Adana, you will grind there with 400% grind. You will grind there with 400% grind. The drop rate, and also there will be some kind, if I'm not wrong, there will be buff they will give to whoever they want, and there will probably be a cooldown. It will give 100% additional drop rate to the people, maybe his friends, for 2 hours, if I'm not wrong. That 100% drop rate thing can exceed 300, but cannot exceed over 400. Yeah.
It will go up to 400. So I assume it will be like if you were grinding on Arsha plus castle buff, whenever your guild has the castle buff. And also one thing that I want to note, the way to become Adana, the idea is that those 10 players are gathered into a free-for-all arena, and the last one standing is the Adana for the first week. For the following weeks, they repeat the system so that 10 players are gathered, free-for-all. The last one standing is the only one that has the challenge to face the Adana of that week, and that Adana has to accept the duels, else he will lose the spot. That's the system.
If the guy is the last Adana is just absent, the new one, the chosen one in between 10, then directly the new Adana. It's kind of different thing that we will see how it will affect. We don't know the rules, the PvP. Yeah. Maybe this can also a way to just balance the game, to see that, hey, these some certain classes becoming the Adana, obviously there's something. Like these classes are just giga broken, let's just check them. Can be a good way to balance the end game, especially PvP. Did I just miss something about the Adania overall?
Not really. I think it's a cool concept. I think it's a missed opportunity from Adania to be like this big land open world PvP. It will have a fixed PvP system, but I do really think it's a missed opportunity for all that declaration wars, like that old system that it's now gone. It's not gonna be revived with this. This is a cool concept, but people are not gonna like it because it's not what they expected. That's what I think.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I'm gonna enjoy it.
I think
it will be good content, but it's not what people expected this to be.
Yeah.
That's
So,
my opinion.
You guys have something to say? Maids, Aidex?
Yeah, I think it's a cool system. I do believe they said it's going to be like 5% top gear score players.
It's
if
for
I wasn't
AOA.
wrong.
It's Arana for sure. The new tournament system. It's not related.
But
with
isn't
this.
it? I thought they said also for Like only the highest gear people are
Mhm.
going to participate in this as well? I might be
No,
wrong.
you have to kill the boss. For example, you kill the Jordan.
Mhm.
You're in top 10. If you're in top 7, you directly has a right. You will have a right to join the the tournament or free for all tournament, and the remain 3 will be chosen by the remain people whoever killed the Jordan.
Exactly.
The 5-person thing in the new tournament system. Let's talk
Oh,
about the
okay.
Wukong. Aidex, do you have something to say?
I think he needed to go 1 quick second. He said PRB like 2 minutes ago.
Okay,
Maybe he's not
let's talk
around.
about the Wukong. I mean,
Think
there is
about
nothing to talk about the Wukong. We're still discovering the character. It's quite interesting concept. I can say that 4 classes just mixed in this class. Awakened Musa, Awakening Assassin, Awakening Dosa, and Awakening Tamer. You can simply see these classes are just sit in this one. There are still like missing skills. Magnus missing, Robams are missing. People are just being a little bit, talking a little bit bad about the class. According to my tests, class has nice PV damage right now. The only problem is just, using your damage is a little bit problem. The damage is not problem. Of course, it's a new brand class. We will just send feedbacks. I also mentioned that in the beginning of the podcast. Please join my Discord. There is a Wukong feedback channel. Send your feedbacks. Like skill by skill, maybe. Maybe you want to add some kind of different mechanic. Maybe you want to remove it. People hate from the, energy charge system. People hate from the system in the class. Yeah, I mean, there is nothing to talk about.
The class just got released. Expect to be changes, but I think the class looks strong for just being released.
Yeah.
It's a cool concept, and I mean, it's up to everyone's taste to like it or not. But it's a good class. For what we've seen so far, it's strong.
So the another thing that they have mentioned, I think they did it once again, like 1.5 years ago. They teased the Dosa, but they didn't just publish it. Do you guys remember the Dosa's first image with the pipe and the sword?
Yeah. They
And
did it.
now
Not
they
that
did it
long ago.
again. A Calpheon from a
Savior.
class from the Calpheon, and it's using the double sword thing. Hold up, it's just too big. Just make it small like this. It is better, I think. Yeah. So it will be some kind of Succession Dracana version 2. They also mentioned the Succession Dracana thing. It will be some kind of mix of Suck Drak and Awakened Warrior. It's coming from Calpheon. Probably coming from the loyals, or maybe some kind of relation between the warrior. Maybe she is the sister of the Valkyrie, the Enslar.
It would be cool.
Maybe something like that. And we will see something. We have no idea. They just mentioned this. Name will be Savior, coming from Calpheon. 200 big sword and like female warrior. What do you guys think?
If you look at the picture in the back, you can see the Calpheon church.
Yeah.
Yep. I think she's gonna be the religious sister of Baal.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Something like
Looks like
something
a
like
paladin
that.
class.
Yeah.
Definitely
I mean,
tying
I'm
to
down
my
for it.
Drag.
I'm down for it.
Yeah, big 200 sword and the name Savior feels like a paladin theme, so I like it.
So
Maybe another sort of supportive class.
Yeah, I'm expecting supporting, some kind of paladin thing. 200 sword paladin.
Paladins are usually supportive in other games, so could definitely have something elements.
Because except Warrior, Valkyrie coming from Calpheon, isn't it? Valkyrie is based on some support abilities. Maybe we can see on this one too, some support things. Can do good PvE, but not amazing for PvP, but she'll be gorgeous for support. I would definitely love to see that. We need support abilities in the game.
Right now, it's like they want support to be a thing, but currently it's like Shy has the monopoly on that. Almost.
Has the crown, yeah. Kills have
really
lost a lot of their purpose.
Party content, and
out
of 30 classes, you're suddenly forced to have one specific one because the only one is role. It's like, there are some supportive skills on like Witch and Witch, Wizard, and Valkyrie, but it's like only
also Dosa. Awakening Dosa supportive.
But if you look at the hand of the Savior in the middle at her chest, you can see the offhand.
Oh, is it like? Let me check.
She holds something.
Close.
We can see it exactly. She holds something, but what is it?
Shy bottom.
I don't know.
Like a cross or something? I don't know.
It looks like a cross, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. Like people just say fuck Wukong. We already know the Monkey King thing, but we want to see this one, and she has boobas. Like Monkey King.
I mean,
it has cock, and she has booba. Booba bigger than
Wukong has a long, hard stick.
So both of his weapons are long hard sticks. His
I mean,
Yeah.
but one has 2 watermelons and the other one is scary as fuck. That's it.
So they just mentioned they will announce it at Adana Part 2. We all expecting Adana Part 2 at the Kalfen Ball, next Kalfen Ball. If you guys don't know the difference between Kalfen Ball and Heidel Ball is in summer, Kalfen Ball is at winter. So it's some kind of middle of December, end of December. Around December, we will get Savior and Adana Part 2. A long journey is expecting us, and I'm very happy with all the things. Another
I would say
thing.
January, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
The new type of the Masterclass thing. It was Arana Farsha.
Whoa.
You can call it same. Arana Farsha or Masterclass, whatever you say. The new system is depending on your gear. Yes, you're right. It depends your gear. But how? They have some kind of calculation method. We do not know the calculation method, so no need to just, discuss about that. What they said, it's class specific. The top 5% of the game will be able to participate this one. The top 5%. It's big. It's bigger than you think. So just don't rush. Don't feel sorry or mad about this thing. If the 800 is max gear, 750 is being 5% because the 5% on top is getting smaller and smaller. The higher gear is getting smaller, the portion for the class specific, even if the crowd, even if the meta class. So no worries about the 5%. If you have 700 gear score and if the top is 850, this will not be your content. But the good part of this thing, you can participate here with your gear or gear level. But in the arena, you can fight with your enemy with equal gear. You will fight with your enemy with equal gear.
Which is
That's-
contradictory.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
a little
kinda
bit
weird.
contradictory.
This is
Like-
a little bit weird.
For my perspective, let's just say I'm gonna do it quickly. Like, if you're 780, probably you're gonna be able to participate. If you're below that, maybe you're not gonna be able to. You're
Yeah.
limiting your players by gear and then making it a capped sort of gear base. There's something over there doesn't feel like it's correct. What
Weird, yeah.
instead should have been done, they should have looked into the season, maybe not this one, but the next season of AOS and gather the top players over there to get them into the Masterclass tournament.
But
That's
it's
my
also
thoughts.
worrying is that both Succession and Awakening get to fight each other, and some classes,
Oh, yeah. For
Yeah.
example, which is gonna be only Awakening.
It's-
Awakening Dosa versus Succession Dosa, for example, is a big
Impossible
example
fight.
why.
Impossible. It's like
Yeah.
Dosa definitely wins. Of
Yeah.
course, we will not know. We don't know what they will do about the class changes. It starts tomorrow. Maybe we'll just try to equalize, different specs of the classes. Not perfectly,
so.
but try
But
to
it's
equalize.
still important. Like, they are different specializations and
Yeah.
they are like extremely different for a lot of them.
Yeah, for
Of
example,
course, be fine in a 1v1, but
I don't know. We will
Yeah.
see. They share nothing, and we will get titles and other rewards, maybe some silver rewards, additionals. But in this tournament, for the first time of the history, there's a special and unique reward. The winner of the tournament, they will have a right to use Griffon mount. You can fly with your mount for next year until the next one is just defined. If you want to keep the Griffon, you have to just become number one again.
that's a mount. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's really good. Imagine you park your Griffon and you stay on top of it for 1 year.
I mean, this is gonna remind me like the first time we ever saw the tier 10 Ardwanats on the servers, everyone was gathering up to see the mount. This is gonna feel that same way, and it's gonna feel so good for the people that have it.
Now, this is you were not just a lucky clown that got it. You actually got it because you
Yeah.
were better than the other people.
Like a prestige image
Yeah.
icon accomplishment, which is
It's like the
good.
was cool. It was just like, oh yeah, so you got lucky on a 3% earlier than others. It's like it's cool, but it's not the same way as this is because you actually have to do hard stuff to get it.
Yeah, but like
Is a
in this
bit-
tournament,
oh,
yeah, please go.
Yeah, it's a bit off topic though, but it would be nice if they would add more of these kind of things in other pieces of content.
They should.
Yeah.
They
Agree.
definitely should. It's just free content for them, and it's so
yeah, like
easy
they
for
could
them
have
to make it.
the I don't know highest combat level get something, highest some
Mm.
life level get something. Like maybe you get a special chef's hat for being the highest cook on your server or something. I don't know.
Mm.
Like they could do so much with this.
Competition. Always good, always good. It just adds something that people can compete each other. Also, in this tournament, I think they're trying to make in this method. People just hate this, but there are lots of skilled players in the game, PvP wise, but they're not grinding or they're not just gearing themselves. At least there are lots of arena boys. We call them arena boys. They're just at arena. They're doing nothing. I encountered lots of them in the arena. They have no idea what's going on outside of the arena. They just log into game. They're doing good PvP in arena, 1v1, maybe group fights or something. But that's all. Nothing special. You're talking with him that, for example, hey, you're saying that Corsair is amazing at large scale, for example. It was just a conversation between me and another boy like 6-7 months ago. And he was just said, bro, Corsair is just that class. You have no idea. He said that you're clueless to me. And you can just, like, PA is just trying to push them. Hey, if you think that you have skillful player, you're talented, go hit some mobs, get some gear in some maybe life skill in some other ways.
Play the game, basically. Go
play the game. Play the game, not be like Arena Boy, not be Arena of Solar Boy. There are lots of Arena of Solar players, they don't even have 700 gear score. They're just all PvP players and they non-stop do Arena of Solar. They don't touch the other contents in the game. They're just simply saying that if you want to prove yourself, get a little bit gear, be in the top 5%, and you'll be able to participate in this one, and then you will fight against your opponent again in equal gear.
Yeah, because I mean, the reason why they're doing that right now is because they don't think it's interesting contest worth going for. But them PA now giving them more incentive to participate in the rest of the game is really good, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna wait.
Anything to say about this? I don't know if
I'm gonna try to participate on this. It's like a dream to participate on this, do good, and I know I probably won't surpass Tassa there, or CJ, or Rockon, or Assign, or Winde, or I mean, there's a lot of good stages out there. But I mean, I'm gonna have my run in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's fun to compete, even if you know you can't be the best. Like, it's just if you are someone who enjoys like competition in games, it's gonna be fun. So I think it's very nice.
Like every other poll, they just announced costumes. Here are the costumes. You guys can see them. A summer costume. They will probably soon announce a Termian event or some kind of special event. I think they said Termian and the Sea Palace thing will start both at the same time. Big events, really. Try to participate them. Try to complete the weekly quests. Big events.
Give
big
us another rod.
Yeah.
Another free rod, please.
Finally, I can say that. Normally, I dislike this, costumes. I hate, for example, because Badaka's texture was too bad, especially in video when you play the game in high resolution, higher than 1080p, 2K, 4K. Like all the costumes, the texture looks extremely ugly. The game cannot render it. It's because from the game engine, it's not supporting. But in this time, finally, a good costumes that game engine can render it even in high resolution. And this costume is good, better than Badaka, definitely. This outfit, this mini short. For Shy, it looked like this. For male, there's a short, a topless. Without, kind of topless, without cape. Probably the female version will look like this. And there's also some kind of scuba diving costume. Right now we have this one in the game, this white one, but this one will come at the end of August if I'm not wrong. That's how it looks. Yeah.
All I have to say about the outfits is, as a game man, I'm very pleased.
Yeah. So overall, what do you guys think about the Heidel? In short,
do we do like the final round of
thoughts?
Rating by rating? What do we think? Okay, Flip, you start. How would you rate?
I would
with that, you close.
This one like something like an 8 or 9, where previous balls have been like 4 or 5.
Okay, so you rate it that highly.
I do think it has potential to be better or worse than what we know now. So it's like a bit tentative because depending on how some things turn out, it will change in my eyes. But for the ball itself, it was very good. But there's some things that I'm a bit skeptical about how they will turn out.
Yeah, Aidex, your turn. How do you rate? How do you want to close your thoughts on the ball?
I'm going to say 8 out of 10, but I have a feeling that everything they talked about will not make it into the live servers.
Or maybe they postpone it?
Yes, or they just scrap it like the...
Might be scrapped, yeah. Like, remember, I don't know if you remember, but like, I think 3-4 years ago, they were announcing they're going to rework active trading, and, it has still not happened yet, so... They could be a couple of things taking that route. So
if I have to be very critical, I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10 because there's like some stuff I feel new players should get in terms of quality of life.
Yeah.
Okay. Mazes, how would you rate the ball overall?
This is my second ever Heidel ball. So the last one was not exciting at all. This one is exciting, has potential. So I'll give it a 9 out of 10 as well.
Okay. Do I go or you want to go?
Yeah, you do go. You last one, then I'll go.
Okay. Mm, I think I have to stay. There's like 2 marks in my head. Either 7 if they postpone or somewhat they fuck up something that they announced, but the ball has the potential to be a 9. So I take the middle number, which is an 8. I liked a lot of the stuff that they mentioned. I think it's gonna affect a lot of the core of the game, and it's gonna be a good starting point for what they can build around it, like PvP modes, PV, life skills. It's a good starting point, and we just have to wait and see if they actually are true to their words and they, yeah, they're true to their words.
So
And
yeah, I want to thank to all of you guys, and I will do the final speech. Well, let me explain what I'm thinking about the Header Ball. This
Okay.
is by far the best ball ever, but there is a but. And we talked about lots of things. The root of the game, the classes, the balance. The entire thing will just shake or completely destroyed, or will just completely just find a maybe perfect or close to perfect balance. We do not know. If they can just success, I'm giving 9. If they can success what they say, like the root of the game stats and everything, 9.5 out of 10. Where I'm just like removing 0.5 from the blue Naval thing. I have to be honest with you, nobody cares. Nobody cares the blue Naval thing. You're just bringing it, the C node war system to the game, but your current, the land, the earth, like the main continent node war system is just sucks. First fix them. We send lots of feedbacks to them. You just didn't care. First fix it. First fix the other things. Then you can spend your free time for these type of things that we can attend. We can look for different contents. We can even just find our main contents in in peace. Because of that, that's why I'm just removing 0.5. And there will be no there's nothing to can replace at 0.5. 9.5 is the max I can give. If they can just, fucked up a little bit, not overall fucked up, I can say 4 out of 10. Because we're talking about the roots of the game. It's not something that you can joke or something you can test, something you can just throw it to I just gave a perfect example for that. They're trying to sell t-shirt. He's just throwing t-shirt to you. You're trying it. It's big for you or it's small for you. You're saying that this big or this small, and he just doesn't care. If they do the same, this is 4 out of 10. Well, if they just say, hey, give me that t-shirt, let's try this one. If it is big, try this one. And when we find just like perfect sweet point that fits to everyone, to the every class or any content, then 9.5 out of 10. That's what I'm thinking. Thank you for everyone listening until this point. I have to say that the Wukong feedbacks in the Discord, do not forget to join. And also tomorrow is the starting day of the new thing. Do not miss the Global Lab. I don't know if the YouTube fellas listen until this point, because it will be like 4 hours long of podcasts. It will be good for people because we yapped a lot. Yapping. Yeah, we yapped a lot. Thank you so much.
We had a lot of guests. So
yeah, you know what we say? Do not forget, video is just a game, and we all main Wukong since 2016.
Yep.